Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Pokepals Pokemon Podcast here on everybody's favourite search engine media-based application, the YouTubes. I am Mush Collects, joined as always by the delectable and dulcet tones of Edward Bear and Anthony Monzone Prear. Before we get started with this absolutely stupendously large Pokemon Day spectacular extravaganza, insert adjectives here episode of the Pokepals podcast, we are very, very proud to announce that we have our very first official affiliation / sponsor for our podcast, Imperium Grading, coming to the UK very, very soon towards the end of March / start of April. But enough from myself, let's hear from Luke at Imperium Grading.
Hello there, Pokepals. My name is Luke Davis. I am the Managing Director of Imperium Grading. I'm very, very happy to announce that we're going to be sponsoring the podcast moving forward with an affiliate program. You'll be able to get 5% off using code Pokepals. Imperium Grading is a brand new UK grading company coming into the scene early April. We're going to be focusing on community first, transparency, and consistency. We're hoping to bring a stricter grading scale into the UK that I don't think we've really seen yet in the UK, along with completely transparent free reports with grader IDs, pictures of damage or imperfections that we see. Check out the website. The grading reports look excellent and we're improving them even before we get to launch. We're very happy to be sponsoring members of the community. Pokepals have been doing a great job, so we're excited to work with them. Make sure you use their code at checkout and look out for us coming April 2026. That's all from me for now, guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a great podcast. Bye-bye.
Thank you ever so much, Luke. Now, gentlemen, before we get started, happy Pokemon Day to you both. How are we?
Salutations, all ye merry men. It is a wonderful day. It feels like it's actually been so long since we've been recording a podcast, because past couple of weeks we've been at events which have been incredible, but it's just like sitting here at the desk, I'm like, what do we actually do when we when we do this? It feels a bit strange. I'm like, what time are we going to Tones for the sleepover?
I'm very excited to be back at the desk filming one of these. It's been far too long, so I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, I think Ed kind of summed it up really well there. It's like we were in the studio, and then we were at EUIC, and then we were at Lincolnshire. So you haven't watched our vlogs from either of those. Pause. Go. Come back. Hello. So, and for us to now be back in the studio, it's a bit like, how do I draw for turn if I don't have any cards out? I'm confusion. There are no white monsters around, and it's not ridiculously early in the morning for me to travel. So it's lovely to be back in the studio. It has been a few weeks. Have to say, we've had a really, really good time travelling at the last couple of shows, and it's been really nice for us because obviously if anyone knows us personally or are fans of the podcast, you know that all three of us live in this Bermuda-sized triangle across the UK, so we're not 5 minutes around the corner. So to be able to actually go and spend a couple of days together, back to back in quicker succession, it actually means the absolute world to us. But we're not here to reminisce about things that we did last week. We're here to talk about things that happened today at time of recording, because this will go out later in the week. It is Pokemon Day, and therefore we were gifted Pokemon Presents. Massive, massive news coming out of Pokemon Presents. I think there are a lot of things that we will touch on and talk about. There are some things that were a bit of like, oh, really? Okay. And then there were some things that were like, absolutely, please, thank you, take all of my money. And some surprises, like Pokopia not being the drizzling shit. So I think that we'll go down in a kind of ascending order and kind of go from what came out first and end on the very big news, Generation 10. Or Generation Ty Dillinger, if you are a wrestling fan. Let me know in the comments if you got that joke. I am here until the podcast ends. So, going up first from the announcements of Pokemon Presents, I think something that we as a three are very excited about now that we are all TCG players. TCG 30th anniversary coming soon. Now, this card set seems to be a amalgamation, a mixture, a pick and mix of everybody's favourite cards reprinted for your handling pleasure. One card I think that stands out for me, and I'll ask you guys the same in a minute, E-Series Lugia was something that I saw, and immediately I was like, I couldn't give a shit about what else is on the screen because I saw E-Series and I saw Lugia. So I think that, yes, there is a reprint of base set Zard because, you know, we can never have too many of them. But it's quite nice to see that they are going to touch back on a number of big series and a big sets. In the past, you saw E-Series, you saw Mid-Era, you saw EX-Era, you saw tag teams, you saw the very first illustration rares and things like that. There was so much going on in those few seconds where they were talking about what's coming out in this 30th anniversary set. But I want to know from you boys, what was the favourite card that you saw that went on the screen? And what would you like to see? Because for me, E-Series Lugia, yes, I would love to see a return to something that I will also be bringing to Little Card of Ours, Delta Species. I've been really kind of enjoying them recently, and I've seen a few that I quite like that I want to add, but I'd love to see a few of them added in. So, Ed, then Tone, what are we looking forward to and or hoping to enjoy the most?
So, tag teams, we know I fucking love tag teams. And then also the Legends cards, like the fact that we've only had them for that like really, really brief period. I'm super excited to see if we get like reprints or they do like new ones. I think what I am like most looking forward to is the fact that it looks as though they're looking over the entire catalogue of the past 30 years and we're getting like a bit of a greatest hits. What I would love to see is for them to revisit it but with like more modern art or like more modern Pokemon. So imagine getting like, I don't know, like a Crystal Steelix or like a Legendary Collection style reverse holo on like a Ceruledge or an Annihilate or you know, something like that, just something unbelievable. And then getting like Mankey, Primeape, Annihilate all on a tag team card, like an Evo line one. Or having like a 3-stage evolution on a Legends card, so it's like similar to like we've seen with the Charizard, Mega Charizard X special illustration rare. But imagine having it like that, and you got like Charmander, Charmeleon, regular Zard, and then your big bad boy Mega. I just think there's so much potential. I think it's also going to make these cards, if Pokemon are like doing this for the fans, which I actually think they are by the looks of things, like I never expected to see E-Series get a shout out again. I think it's going to bring a lot of the unobtainable cards to many, like actually into the market. Like imagine if we get like a Koro Mew and it's affordable, you know, and like just stuff like that, or like a Crystal Nido again. Like Crystal Nido King is one of my top chasers, and like a Masaki Gengar. Imagine if we can get some like affordable way of actually getting these. Like for me, there's so much excitement, but also apprehension because this set's going to be scalped to high fuck. Like it's going to be insane. Pardon me.
Very tasty. I'm really excited from what we saw. I think it's not a secret for us to share that the three of us jumped on a call and watched it together. And as much as that was really fun between us, I think the hindrance was in our excitement talking to each other. I think I missed a few cards. But I remember, again, Mush and I both went, E-Series Lugia. Like, it was the one that popped out to all of us. And that's the only one that comes straight to my mind, specific card I remember. But I remember seeing the tag team, I remember seeing the blue borders. I'm excited to see a lot of that mid-era that I missed, because after Neo, I didn't collect anything. And anything I have now post-Neo is from me joining back in between Obsidian and 151. So, like, I collected a lot of Sword and Shield because back 2.5 years ago, it was easily obtainable. But just about got some Cosmic Eclipse of Sun and Moon. Anything before that set, it is just random cards out of giveaways or stuff on Whatnot or random pickups of cards I like the look of at card shows. What I'm really excited for, apart from all that, because again, I've only got one tag team in my collection, gifted to me from incredible people on Instagram, the Happy Hoarders, who always get involved in Tag Team Tuesday hashtag, and I never do because I don't have any. And after commenting a couple of times on their post, they were like, "You don't have any?" And boom, they just sent me one for free. So I'm excited to get hold of some of them. But what I really want to see, the nostalgia in me, mainly because I want one ideally to pull it myself like I did back in the day and sold it like a stupid kid I was. I want a Shining Steelix. I want the original Shining cards back. I want to see them make a return. So, like, that, I'm excited to see if they come back. But it just goes to show that Pokemon obviously listen to the podcast, because I think our previous episodes, we all said we want to see series, we want to see this, we want to see that, and they're like, we got you, we'll do it all. And yeah, it's really excited, but I have to echo what Ed said. I'm saying this with a lot of like trepidation of, I'm lucky that I now have a Play Store that I can go to, because I think without that, how are we going to get stock? Because scalpers are going to be ravenous animals and absolute assholes during this. And I'm actually concerned for when we next go to card shows, because you guys might have to put me on a leash. The tables that I'm going to see that are like, you want a triple blister of this new 30th anniversary set? That'd be £200 and your dog. Thank you. Like, I'm nervous, but excited.
I think it's mad that you're trying to put it out to our viewers that we don't take you to a card show on a leash already. Because there are a few vendors that have definitely been at the short end of a sniper rifle of the mouth that is the cannon of tones. But I think you've both kind of summed that up absolutely perfectly, that there is so much they could do and so much they look like they're going to do. A couple that I kind of combined what you two were talking about in my head. When Ed said a modern take on a classic card, immediately my brain thought of the Light Toxtricity promo, because that's one of my like favourite kind of modern era promos, because it's such a nice looking card.
We need Light and Dark back.
Yes.
Like from.
I mean, if we're gonna do dark cards, I will please and thank you, Pokemon, because it is confirmed you do listen to the podcast. I will have a Dark Arbok illustration rare or SIR, and if you don't, I will find you, and I will quote Liam Neeson's thing when I've learnt it, or Dark Crobat. Either. Yeah, that's a threat that I will research 3 seconds of dialogue. A Dark Crobat again, another one I'd love to see, and another one that I did actually see, but has only just come to me: the Level X cards, which I think are again another set of cards that I really love the look of, but never got to experience in the time, because I was too busy being boring and not enjoying Pokemon at the time. So I think there's a lot there. We could talk about this until all of the mill tanks come home, but we will move on. Next up, we've got the Game Music Collection, an MP3 player with a number of cartridges that will come with it that are in the shape of a Game Boy with game cartridges. 45, I believe, is a number there or thereabouts.
45 songs, yeah.
It is a cool little thing, and for the collectors and proper, I've got everything on display. Like, I've got a little Arbok here that Tone got me. Hello, darling. But, for the people that want to display that kind of thing or keep it sealed for future generations to enjoy, very cool. I don't think there's really much more you can kind of add to that. It's a cool little thing you've done for us. Thank you. It's very much giving that. Do you ever remember the Vine of when the kid opens a present and it's an avocado?
The avocado.
Yeah, it's here on the screen right now.
Avocado! Thanks!
Okay, so we'll leave that one there and we'll move on to something slightly more exciting. Pokemon XP San Francisco will now include the Pokemon Champions, which means that when Champions drops, they say March, April? Very soon.
April release.
April. Pokemon Champions is basically going to be that's April in sign language. If you didn't know, I am.
You're just dropping the Donald Trump on us.
I'm just interpreting for.
In April, it's going to be amazing.
It's gonna. The game's gonna be small, but it's gonna be really fun. It's okay. So Pokemon Champions is coming out. I think out of all of us, Ed's actually the most excited for it. So it's basically online battling, but there's a bit of a cheap way to get around it because you get to pick your EVs, IVs, you get to pick your growths and natures. It's going to be a very quick way to make a very broken team of 6. As somebody that absolutely loves VCG and loves playing all of the video games, we'll get on to Fire Red and Leaf Green very later on. Jesus Christ, my teeth in the mouth where they should be. It's really intriguing to see kind of what they do and how it will play out. But, there's going to be somebody that just does like 6 electrodes that all know self-destruct but have sturdy as an ability, so they never get one hit KO'd, but you take all the... There's going to be some broken builds out there. For you guys, is it something that you're looking forward to, want to play, will kind of dabble in if you fancy it? Where are you standing on Pokemon Champions?
I mean, for me, it just looks like a super competitive version of Pokemon Stadium. And as we know, as I've said countless times on this pod, I fucking love Pokemon Stadium. So for me, I think the way of getting a bit more like nostalgia in a sense, but then also getting to have another way of enjoying Pokemon, because obviously like we love the games that are like, the world building, the characters, fill in Pokedexes, whatever. This is just straight into the nitty gritty, like this is your team, sort your shit out. Like it's going to give it a new sort of spin, because like I know, Mush, you are quite big onto like looking into IVs, natures, everything like that. For me, I've never really actually done that sort of thing. I've like dabbled with like abilities, dabbled with held items, but that's about it. I'm very much that kid that when I was playing the games, it's like, Tail Whip, what the fuck do I want to know that for? It doesn't even do any damage. Like Earthquake, that's the kind of way that I've been playing. So I'm just seeing this as like a bit of a new challenge, a new way to play, and also overload my brain in another medium, because I am already doing too much, but one more thing can't hurt.
I think for me, and before Tone weighs in, is that you will approach Pokemon Champions how I initially approached Pokemon TCG. What do you mean tech cards? I just attach energy and hit you for 400. Like, that's fine. Oh, how do I actually get to the energy? Oh, I think that's. I think somebody will find the juxtaposition from kind of casual Pokemon and casual enjoying. Like, I have a Blastoise, level 15. No, level 50. What's the rest of your team? Level 15. I've never used them. Surf kills everything. There's going to be a big change for a number of people that play it. But then I think that it will also it will grow a fan base very quickly. Because obviously like we saw when we went to EUIC, Scarlet and Violet competitive still has a massive, massive following and people are still absolutely loving it. So I think this very quickly will grow a very big following. And if they're going to include it at San Francisco in their regionals and things like that, I wouldn't be surprised that come next year, when here in the UK you've got Birmingham and then you've got EUIC London again, that there won't be a 4th stage and it will be VGC, Champions, TCG, Unite. So I think it will grow very quickly. Tone, how do you feel about it?
I'm similar to Ed in the sense of how I've always approached Pokemon games. I think I approach Pokemon games similar to how I approached my collection when I first started, is I want to catch them all. I want to collect them all. I'm a collector. It's why Unknown was one of my favourite and still is one of my favourite Pokemon, because it was a collection Pokemon in a game about collecting Pokemon. There was a separate collection to get. And that's the fun for me, being able to complete something like that. The battling was always secondary. So it's not really a game that is jumping out to me. But then I echo Ed's statement where I bloody loved Pokemon Stadium. and loved that, even though it was like against CPU, going and doing the Pokemon League and doing the battle part. So I might get it because I'd want to dabble. I don't know if it would be one of them games where I play it for about a week and then I'm like that Andy meme where I don't want to play with you anymore and just drop it. Maybe. It looks fun. It does look really fun. But I can also, again, echoing something you said, I can see this bringing out the sweats. And I don't want to come in, I like collecting Pokemon. Ow! Ow! I'm getting smacked up by sweaty nerds that are in their bedroom, sitting at 25 stone, not moving from their seat because they get this new game. Not you, Mush, don't worry, you're sexy. But that would be my fear, that it will just be wading in too late because I need my ADHD brain to get the interest and it'll be too late. But it's really interesting to see that before it's even released, they're already announcing it for like a major like show like this. I think that's really interesting. And like we said, we'll talk about EUIC later, but one that you didn't mention till the very end there, I was really intrigued at how popular Pokemon Unite was, and that was on stage, and they were doing 5v5 tournaments, and I can see this already becoming very, very similar. Like you both said, this is going to get a following, and there are going to be people where like this is their calling, this is the game they have waited for, because again, like Mush said, you can easily just get the team you want quick. On Scarlet, for you to get the team you want to do to compete, you have to go and find that Pokemon, catch it, level it up, do all the training for it, yada, 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 and then build your team that way. This is going to be pick your team. I can go straight into the nitty-gritty battles like I want. So there's going to be people that they're going to chew this up, and I can see it doing really, really well.
I think from what I gather as well, it's like a free-to-play one similar to Unite that is going to be on mobile as well as Switch. So, like, I'm almost trying to take that as a little bit of respite that there will be the more casual player because they're like, oh, I'll just download this and give it a go and then get absolutely walloped and uninstall it, which is likely gonna happen and probably will be what happened to me. Like, a week after its release, we'll record a pod and I'll be like, fucking stupid game. Never playing that again. Ridiculous. Like,
I think I take the approach to Champions the way I would take the approach to modern day Call of Duty. This looks like we're all going to be safe and we're all going to have a great time. And then I get in there and I'm just like, my God, the blood, the mess, the murder. It's going to be, I'm going to get rinsed. Like, as somebody that claims to be decent at the Pokemon video games, it's just because I play them a lot. I've done 1,000 different Nuzlocks, 1,000 different ways with 1,000 different type variations and styles. But I also I'm 25 stone and I sit in my bedroom and I sweat. I just watch a lot of it, kind of like I spend a lot of my time enjoying videos like that. Like, I'm a really big fan of Antler Boy and Silk Spectre. They do some really, really cool Nuzlocke stuff on YouTube, and they're genuinely quite entertaining when they do it. So I spend a lot of my time just kind of it on in the background, and I'm very good at not listening and absorbing the information. If you ask my soon-to-be wife, she will tell you that I don't listen at all. But if it's something that I'm interested in, that sounds really bad, it will go straight into the back of my head. I'm so glad she doesn't watch this shit, because that was awful. We'll move swiftly on into something that will make you feel not sweaty, fat, and in your bedroom, but it will make you feel old, as Pokemon Go turns 10 years old this year. Like my little sister, who is now in her mid-20s, I'm sure you were just a baby 5 minutes ago. I'm terrified. I am terrified that this game is now 10 years old. I saw a meme the other day that was like, what you think is 10 years ago, and it was like red, blue, and yellow. And it was like, what was actually 10 years ago, and it's like sun and moon. And I was like, a small heart murmur and an asthma attack later, and I was just about consoling myself. I think there are a number of people that still absolutely love Pokemon Go. I think it came out for me, and it was really big at the time, but at the time I didn't own any consoles, so my entire Pokemon consumption was just playing like ROMs and hacks on my laptop at the time. When I got it, I was like, "Oh my god, this is it. This is how Pokemon is meant to be played." And for a good year, it kind of consumed my life. It's lovely to see it's still going, but for me personally, it's gone now. I also live somewhere where my nearest Pokestop, because I downloaded it when I moved to the country just to check, is like 45 minutes away. So like, I could hatch a few eggs and catch that one really random executor that will always spawn around the corner from wherever you are. But it's not something that I'm that interested in, but it's cool to see it still have the longevity and the support that it gets now. Are either of you two still playing it or looking to get back into it now that it's had a few little bits announced for it? Or is it just kind of like, yep, that's a thing within the niche fan base that I consider myself to be a part of?
Go on, Tone.
I was. Like, recently, I got back into it. Like, it's one of them things where I go through phases with Pokemon Go. Similar to you, I absolutely loved it when it came out. And for a good 2 years, I was locked in. And I was at summer camp. I was working at a summer camp in America when it came out in July 2016. And it was like the big counselor thing. Every counsellor in camp downloaded this game. We had a car that we were basically renting off of a good friend of ours that didn't go back to camp that year. And we would drive around the town at 5 miles an hour because it was in the middle of nowhere and just be catching Pokemon. You'd see people running around the streets, and I remember this American man just coming out of his house and going, "Blastoise is down there, run!" And we all literally jumped out of the car, and there was just like 30 men sprinting down the road to go catch Blastoise. It was an incredible game on release, and it itched the nostalgia harder than you ever expected it to do. And then by the second year, it got very tedious and very repetitive, and a lot of the newest updates require a lot of as depressing as this guy sounds, it requires a lot of friendship. You need a lot of friends on the app to help you do raid battles, I can't even think what they all are now. Like all these different raid battles that you can do, and rocket battles and everything. You need friends to join in because they're scaled higher and harder, getting the legendaries. And half of the people that I have as a friend on the app are done with this game because it's been out so long. They're like, "I'm done playing with you now. I moved on to new toys." So I will dabble in and out, but it's like I'm just there to try and basically shiny hunt or complete the Pokedex and catch Pokemon that I haven't got. I'll regularly get a notification where a Pokemon you don't have is over here, and I'm like, "Oh, I might play for 5 minutes if I've got 5 minutes spare." A few months back, I got kind of into it. I think some people in our in the Pokepals chat, shout out Chris and Jodes, they were talking about it, and Josh. So I got back into it again, but again, other things come up, like taking more, or finally getting involved with the TCG, and then Pokemon Pocket coming in. I'm like, I can't juggle all these plates at once. Something's got to move over to make room. You're not fulfilling my needs as much as you used to. I'll play it here and there. And again, it's something where once or twice a week, I might open it for 5-10 minutes, catch whatever's there. But there's no way I'm putting in the hours and, to be honest, the money that I did put in. Because during COVID, it was a blessing of a game. It had a resurgence. It done a lot of things for people that could not leave the house and made the game really fun again. And I'll be honest, and Pokemon, I'm sorry if you're listening, but the moment they dialed all those features back that made it good during COVID, it lost a lot of people. And because I remember where I was living at the time, I could only reach the Pokestop from my house because they increased the features. And then they retracted that and I couldn't reach it anymore. I was like, well, fuck this. That's pissed me off. And and they started retracting a lot of those features while people were still in and out of the COVID rules, and I was just like, they'll make decisions and then they'll retract them, and they'll make a lot of decisions that don't always have the consumer's interest at heart, and it's dying out because of that. They need to bring something fresh to that game, fresh ideas for me to get my grip back how I used to be with that game.
Yeah, I think when it came out, like I've said before, the closest thing to world peace we'll ever have. It was like one of the best times, and I feel like it was what we all needed at the time. So I feel like that was a massive part of like getting people not necessarily like back into Pokemon, but almost breaking down that first barrier of being like, no, more people than you think like still love Pokemon. It's just something they're only now able to like outwardly like display. Because I remember like I was working in a marketing agency, and we'd have clients in, and they'd sit down for meetings, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna come check like what Pokestops are nearby," and then it's like, I never would have had you down as like a Pokemon fan, and then you start getting to chat to them about that. Who's their favourite? Like, what's their best catch? How many shinies have they got, and all that. I feel like it really, really did break barriers down, and like Tone said, fully echoing that. Like over the pandemic, it was fantastic for being occupied at home and also able to still like play with your friends with like the remote raid battles. But I just feel like microtransactions ruined it, because it went from like, oh, you can have like
Absolutely.
5 remote raid passes for like a couple of quid to, oh yeah, we're putting the prices up, but we're doing it to encourage you to get out and like, you know, meet people. It's like, pull the other one, mate. No, you're not. I think the last time I played it fully was when they added all of the different forms of the villain in, and you had to get like postcards from different like locations around the world, and like that was a fantastic time, because it was like the almost like that hunt again of being like, right, I need to make friends with someone in Hawaii. So I was like all over Twitter being like, random one, I need someone from any of these areas. Can we be friends on Pokemon Go? And can you send me a postcard? I need it. And like that was like really fulfilling. But again, once that was done, it was like, okay, sick, what do I do now? And I'll open it every now and then if I go to like a major city, or if like I'm on holiday somewhere and we're like sat having a meal, or like we're just having some drinks at a bar. I'm like, oh, I just wonder what's around. Like a couple of years ago, I was in the States, so I was able to catch a Wiglet and a Bufalon, and I was like, yeah, that's sick. I've got them now. What do I do? You know, it's like there's so much like good to it, but it's like it's just missing that like next little thing. So it's like everything that they put in there, yeah, it's like it's fun, it kills time, whatever. But there's nothing that like keeps you there, I find. So for me, it's like I might open it up over the weekend whilst it's Pokemon Day celebrations and there's the Kanto tour going on, but other than that, I probably won't pick it up until next Pokemon Day, if I'm honest.
So what I'm gathering from both of you is that this game's good, but only when there's a global pandemic. So if we could get another one of them, that'd be great. if we can get the next live update to COVID 5.0 or whatever we're up to now at this point. I mean, when Fallout becomes a reality, that game's going to boom. Can't wait for it. Vault 44, where it's just all Nidorans. I had one great year on it at the start. I think, like everybody did, because it was a resurgence for me. And at the time, it was a welcome. I don't have a game to play apart from like I'm a very open. I'm a FIFA sweater, but I play FIFA career mode. I play it on my own. I don't play online because I actually like everything else to do with the game apart from the rather toxic as fuck community that plays it. I'm much happier playing it on my own. I am a very happily solitary creature. So I had 1 year at the start that was great, and then I had a summer with my friends Jordan and Lucas of Pokepals Podcast fame, who you will have seen in our many different card show jaunts at Wolverhampton and Lincolnshire and the like, where we would go out on hour-long walks, and we were really lucky that where we used to live, there's like a gardens area with like a basketball court and like a hangout space for the public, and at the top there was gym, and at the bottom there was a big cluster of Pokemon stops and always a raid den, so it's like you could walk between all of them within about like 10 minutes of each other, so that was sick. But as soon as that stopped, I was like, cool, well, it's put that back in the box, and I'll find that in 15 years and be like, oh, I remember playing this back in the day. What a stupendous game that was back in the day. So yeah, I think if you're enjoying it and you like doing it, more power to you. If you don't, have you considered playing TCG? Because I think for me massively is that all games on my phone are basically, bar Mahjong, because I'm weird, and TCG Live, I have nothing else on my phone. I don't know why I like Mahjong. It's just match the tiles. It's nice and relaxing. Don't judge me. I'm unique. Now, the next three I'm going to run through kind of quickly, because I don't think realistically any of us have mass to say about any of them, but I will touch on them because I want to get to something that's coming in March that is huge for anybody of our vintage, of our years of birth, in that 30 realm. Anyone that had a GameCube, plug in your headphones, sit up straight, get yourself a glass of water and some tissues because we're about to go in. But before we get there, just going to quickly touch on Pokemon Pocket has dropped a brand new set in Paldean Wonders. Hate to break it to you, everybody, it's just Paldea evolved but digital. Cool, we touched on that. Thank you for coming in. Pokemon Unite is introducing Uno, Dos, and Tres. If you don't know what I mean, I'm talking about the Kanto legendary birds of Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Awesome. It was actually quite fun to see a lot of people play it at EUIC, but
It was. I think that's another one of those toys where I think we were waiting for ZA to come out, and us three started playing it for a couple of weeks, and then ZA came out, and we just went.
We were actually getting quite sweaty, I will say. Like, not to blow our own trumpet, but we were pretty fucking good at one point.
And
I might be the only player in existence that made Cinderace look good. Just saying. Like, and that's it's a lot of hard work. But yeah, Pokemon Unite is getting the Cantonian legendary birds, and it's getting the Johto starters. So not only can I play with Feraligatr in-game on Legends EA and with a deck that I've built, but now you can play it in Pokemon Unite. And finally, a game that all three of us were like, this is a thing? That's incredible. I didn't know. Pokemon Cafe Remix is getting a release and or update. I don't know. At this point, we were still kind of chomping at the bit about all the card stuff. So yeah, just thumbs up and moving along. Right.
It just gives me... What was that game that released on the phone recently that we played? Or I played it. I don't think you two did for 2 days. That cotton yarn ball game that was boring as fuck. It gives me.
What was that Pokemon fucking shit?
Exactly. I can't. This is gonna be one of them.
Oh, Pokemon Friends.
If Pokemon Cafe Remix, the one thing I want to say is it sort of gave me vibes of like what's that co-op cooking game?
Cooking Mama.
Overcooked.
No, Overcooked. If it was something like that, I think it would be epic. But yeah, no, it just looks a bit.
It's a game that was advertised that we have now mentioned on a podcast that is award-winning for talking about things all related to Pokemon. Yes, I did just remind you that we are an award-winning podcast. Oh, look, I have a trophy, and this time it has a Gengar on it. Isn't that exciting? Thank you. Right, gather in, come closer. Did you have a GameCube? Are you of the vintage between 28 and 35? Do you like Lugia? Would you like it to be a cooler colour? Well, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, the sequel, which I didn't know, to Pokemon Colosseum, is coming to the Nintendo GameCube online subscription thing. I'm doing the brackets, not April. March 2026. which is slightly smaller, is coming to the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. If my head was a wheezing, it would have used explode. I am... If you could see the chair that I am sat on, you would see that my grey trackies have changed a good shade of colour. It is very, very exciting. I'm a massive fan of this game. Now, this is some weird Mush lore break-in. My mum used to date a chap named Steve, whose son used to own a GameCube, who used to come over at the weekends, and he would bring his GameCube. And I specifically went to a shop and bought XD Gale of Darkness to play on his GameCube that I only got to play on weekends. I've never had more fun. I cannot wait to hear the music that goes with
GameCube.
Yeah, big up Steve's son's GameCube. His name was Matt. He was a lovely chap.
Hall of Fame.
That's my Hall of Fame. Steve's son's GameCube this week. Mirror B and the music that goes with when he makes his appearance in that game. Absolutely goated. The Shadow Pokemon that was, I think, the massive inspiration for all of the Dark and Shadow Pokemon that came into Pokemon Go. It's I cannot wait. Like, it's going to be absolutely a brace for the first one of the episode. Phenomenal. It truly is going to absolutely do bits in my brain, breasts, and under region. It's just, I can't wait. I've got nothing left to say. I'm Ian Beeling for words.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
But it's great. I can't wait. Thank you, Pokemon, genuinely for anything that you've done. This and Fire Red on the same day. Whoa!
Big day. I think for me, the only thing that I'm ever so slightly put out by is like, why are we getting Gale of Darkness before Pokemon Colosseum's on there? Like, that to me just seems a bit odd, because I'd rather complete that and then go into Gale of Darkness. But I also just cannot fucking wait. Like, I love Pokemon Colosseum so much. Never got to play Gale of Darkness, but was fully aware of it, so cannot wait for that. The fact that, you know, Shadow Lugia, one of the sickest designs in Pokemon, and this time I'm actually going to be coming at it with a bit more knowledge. I distinctly remember playing Pokemon Colosseum, getting to Purify 6 Pokemon and only 6, and I used one of my choices on a Makahita. What the fuck was Little Red thinking? Like, imagine going through that entire game, you know? There's the Shadow Ho-Oh you can get. Do I want to purify that? Do I bollocks? Give me a cheeky Makahita, and he evolved into Hariyama. I didn't even know about Hariyama at the time. So I was there watching it like, what is this? This is like, I've done something special here. It's like, yeah, it was special, but not in a good way. It was, yeah, you've got yourself a big old sumo wrestler here when you could have had something fucking majestic. But there you go. So I'm looking forward to approaching this with a bit more, you know, brain. So I cannot wait. And I think this is the thing that we were talking about after Pokemon Presents. It's just that so much of it was just rapid fire, like, come in March, come in April, come in March, come in April, come in this year, come in next year. And it was just like, this is just a fucking tick list at the moment. It's like, this is coming, nice. Anyway, here's another thing. That'll be out soon, maybe. Here's another thing. Oh, Shadow Lugia, mint. Anyway, here's some cards. Anyway, Pokemon, yay. Yeah, but in short, I cannot fucking wait.
Have you ever seen the Futurama episode with Hypnotoad? Because that's how it felt in Pokemon Presents at time. Yeah. It was just like kind of like done. Oh, and did both of you two and I at the end of it were kind of like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
We were expecting more.
We're finished.
Yeah,
it was kind of like,
were saying they were about to drop the legendaries, and it went black. The screen went dark, and we're like, "Oh, what's it going to be?"
Rumbling noise and everything, and then it was just like, anyway, here's a top 10 list from Watch Mojo.
Yeah, it turns out the rumbling noise was actually just my stomach, and it's lunchtime.
It also just made me think of Family Guy, where it's like, crudely painted, not so funny, flow with cut out folk art. Crudely painted, not so funny, flow with cut out folk art.
We have such favourites as Lady on a Porch.
Yeah, that's it. It's like we have Pokemon Champions, Pokemon Cafe, Gen 10. Anyway, bye. But yeah,
It's the at least it's not like The Sopranos when it cut to black in mid.
It was hectic. I think the one thing with Gala Darkness one was it actually explained and spoke about it a little bit. Some of them, like we discussed it, we were disappointed at how little emphasis on the TCG there was. There was one quick video where it showed it all in rapid fire and went coming soon. There wasn't even a date for that. It just said coming soon. Whereas Gala Darkness, they spoke through it a little bit. We got a bit of explanation. I'm excited because I never played Colosseum or Gala Darkness. But the footage looks incredible. I have a Switch 2, so I'm already there to just get this game immediately when it's out. I can't wait to play. I'm going to be taped to my Switch because of all these games that are coming out. I'm really excited to play it.
I just realised that I was muted and I was just carrying on the notes into the next segment. Ha ha ha, we get one every episode. I think that was the chair, not me. That was the chair, not me. Seriously. Everybody gets one.
Wow, thanks, Spider-Man.
Everybody gets one. Tell him, Peter.
Apparently everybody gets one.
Bingo.
All right, enough degeneration. So I'm very excited for Gale of Darkness. I think Pokemon are doing something clever, is how I'm going to describe it, because I think they are very aware of what they've got that they could just drip feed through this year, because it's a big year. They don't have to do anything major for 5 years, because that'll be the next big celebration. I don't give a shit that I'm turning 33 this year. 35, whoop 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 whoop. Holla, whatever it is that people do when they celebrate nowadays. But, so they can, I think the games that are coming out, the announcement of Gen 10, which we'll get to shortly, and the 30th anniversary set, everything else that's going on around it is just like, you can have some tidbits, treat yourself. Don't fill up, because we've got some stuff coming that have some. Have a little snack. So, I'm going to touch on this one and then move past it, because it's very small, but Legends ZA, Mega Dimensions, they are now offering out the Mega Garchompite Z once you defeat Mega Garchomp Z in the game. So you'll be able to get yourself now both forms of Mega Garchomp. I think all three of us kind of saw this announcement and we were like, actually, the Garchomp doesn't look half bad in game. Because I think the still rendered image kind of looks shit, to be honest.
It looks okay, I think, and this is someone that's spent hours playing this game, and I'll be honest, I love Legends ZA. Mega Dimensions was a letdown, and I feel like this is my name's Tony, and I'm a Legends ZA addict that knows he has a problem moment, because I've put in hours into that game, shiny hunting, playing, enjoying, and I spent ages trying to convince myself that the DLC was worth it, and it was actually really fun and enjoyable. And after like my 30th or 40th dimension going through it in a rapid time to try and find stuff, and then not getting the berries I want and not being able to build the berries I want, I was a bit like, I'm sick and tired. And also recently, my shiny hunts have been spending hours to maybe find one double. So it's grinding me down.
It's happened. It's happening. It's there. If you're a lover and enjoyer of this game, I still see so many people out there that are still streaming it and enjoying it and playing it within their communities. Absolutely fair play to you. I've still play Scarlet now because I still want to finish my Shiny Living Dex. I think at count, I'm at 88% now. Now that I've finally... I'll tell you one that really pisses me off and it's taken me ages to do, is the Axew line. No idea why. Because I found a fracture like halfway through my active playthrough of the game and then just never got another outbreak, and then every time I did a sandwich, I swear to God, that bugger waited until like the last second of the sandwich, and then I'd see one, and then it would just despawn and disappear. I'd be like, yeah, cool, no worries, thanks, man. Like the absent father, you've gone before I needed you, bastard. Now, we could sit here and talk about games that are already out, but we should start talking about games that are coming out. Now, one that I will openly admit that I definitely said I thought looked shit. That now I've just watched the, obviously earlier today, watched the Pokemon Presents, I will say actually has grown on me a little bit. It's not my kind of game. It's not a style that I'm looking to play, but it is something that I will say looks phenomenal. I'll give you a second one for the episode. Pokemon Pokopia, with a number of major announcements. Now, I know both Ed and Tone have said that they're really looking forward to this game coming out, and we will possibly do a very special review of the game via one of these two lovely, handsome gentlemen. Don't know which one, or maybe we'll do half
Ed,
and half.
Because
Ed.
I never said that I thought this looked dire. I thought this looked like a kid's game that I would not enjoy. And I actually was on your fence, Mush. I was alongside you. Like, this looks boring and slow, and I would not be able to lock in.
Are we still
and
talking about
enjoy
Pokopia,
this.
or are we talking about me now at this point? Because I'm confused. Because we've said boring and slow, and suddenly I
You
feel
are not boring
offended.
and slow, you fool. No, Pokopia, like watching the gameplay and the footage, speaking to the people that we spoke to at EUIC that has played it, seeing a lot more people play it, and yeah, especially on today's anniversary video, I can't lie, it bloody looks interesting. And you got to see a lot more Pokemon, a lot more things to do. The one thing that I know you both disagree with me on, I really like Stereo Rotom. I think that's really cool. But again, this is from Ed that doesn't like Trubbish, and so the point is moot. It looks. I actually think it looks really interesting. And will I be jumping and chomping at the bit to get it when it comes out? Probably not. But I might watch a couple of people play it and be like, yeah, I will. I'll treat myself when I'm ready. And play it when I've got some time. I think it'll be a nice little downtime game, just relaxing on my sofa. Oh, let's play Pokopia for half hour.
All I'm suggesting is that Ed starts streaming this game. Just going to say that before he chimes in, because I know I've interrupted you a bit, but what I would pay to have Eddie Bear plays, because if you haven't already, and I'm going to throw a little plug here, a little dive over the fence to Ed's channel. If you haven't watched Ed play the Slowking deck in TCG Live on his channel, go and watch that video and go and watch him absolutely desecrate and shit on a Mega Lucario deck, which as a Mega Lucario player hurt me, but I was in pieces howling at Ed's commentary. So if you haven't, go watch that and then comment loads of things like, please do Pokopia live streams, thanks. And it won't be me on loads of burner accounts like Tome with Little Cardivars. Ed, how do you feel about Pokopia?
I won't lie, I'm fucking buzzing for it. Like, I absolutely love a cozy game. Like, Animal Crossing was one of my most played games on DS. I've played Animal Crossing on my Switch, like, to death. I play TCG Shop Simulator on my computer. Do I get anything from it? Do I bollocks? Like, I just enjoy playing it. It's like, I always look at gaming as sometimes I want to sit down and play like an epic thing like God of War, really sink some time into it, or like Expedition 33, all of these sorts of things. But then sometimes I just want to sit down, not get abused and ragged by Summit, and just, unwind for a few hours, because the world is a shit place and you got to get these little things that make you a little bit happy. And as soon as I saw a Derpy Ditto as the main character, I was like, you're sold. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got it pre-ordered. After going to EUIC, if you attended the event and if you went around the Pokemon Centre, you got given a 15% off coupon. I used it on Pokopia, which made it cheaper
how
than
much
it is.
Just out of interest.
I think the full price is like £60 or £62. but you get like a Ditto plushie included with it. And when you think that a plushie's like £15, but then this brought it down to like 52, which is cheaper than like Amazon, Smiths, all of those places. So I was like, getting it from the Pokemon Center and a plushie for less than it is on Amazon. But I mean, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing all the different Pokemon that you can get. We saw Steelix in the trailer, which immediately made me happy. In the original trailer, we got to see a Ditto Dragonite, which, as a Dragonite fanboy and collector, I am all over. So, yeah, I think it's going to be... I'm excited for it. And if you do want to see me play it absolutely unhinged with some proper, probably content that will get me banned from YouTube, let me know. So I need to start doing more TCG deck profiles and tutorials and stuff, because I can, as we know, let a little loose sometimes and chat bollocks like nobody else on this planet. So,
and we love it. And
yeah, it's quite literally what we hired you for the podcast for.
Yeah, and especially hearing the price you just said it costs, definitely start streaming it, because you've made me
get
wanna
that game
buy it
for
even
free
less.
after revenue. As well is that when we talk about Ed streaming, is like I've sent Ed a list of decks that I'm like, I'd like you to play these decks, and I'd like you to comment your way through, because me and Ed recently have got Toad in on it. So basically, Ed infected me, like the T virus from Resident Evil, and then I bit Tone. But while biting Tone had a little nibble at Lucas, where I'd leant over and then bit our friend Connor, and now we're this weird fungal Ethan Winters collaboration of humans. Yeah, instead of stars.
I'm involved now. I'm fully involved.
So
Last time we filmed, I wasn't even involved at all.
True. And so recently, Ed built the Slowking deck. I built the Feraligatr. Tone is now building like 8 different decks at once because he is fully invested. But I sent Ed a deck that I found from... I can't remember their name. I found it from a profile that I follow on TikTok that does just deck profiles. So it's like, you should play this or you should play this, which is a Shedinja/Ninjask build. And it's just a single prizer that does a lot of shithousery. But I sent it to Ed and I was like, I want you to play this. Because I could just imagine the kind of utter bollocks that Ed can get up to on YouTube for basically my entertainment. But if I find it funny, you should all enjoy it as well. So if you haven't already, pause, go to Ed's page, subscribe, come back, subscribe to us, pause, go to Instagram, follow all 3 of us and the podcast, pause again, look up Imperium Grading. Follow them. Support them. Coming soon. Now, pull the plug out the bath. We're not doing that anymore. We're going to talk about something that is very much going to let the water and air flow, because I am the Segway King. Thank you. Alas, Generation 10 has been announced. We are getting Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves. Less than a minute, maybe a minute of footage. Maybe a minute and a half. I am so bloody sold that I'm already packaged up and in the Royal Mail van on my way to my new owner. It looks absolutely incredible. One thing that Ed said that I couldn't agree with more: water that looks like water. Genius. But there are some wonderful, wonderful aspects of it that look like they're going to be so much fun. I hope, as a old school Pokemon player, that we get a return to gyms. Proper gyms, but I think one thing that we could touch on games and gameplay and what it looks like. Shout out Tropius, a Pokemon that needs more love, and I'm very excited to see it back in the Pokemon universe. Let's talk about the starters, because I think Generation 8, the footballing rabbit and the drumming monkey, and then whatever the fucking Teleon is. James Pond, or whatever that horrible... I'm going to try and find that game and put it up here. That's Inteleon. James Pond. Awful. And then Generation 9... I think Generation 9 wasn't awful, but I don't think it was great. It sat very much in the sort of... Like, you liked one of them. Like, I quite like Meowscarada, but I like Meowscarada because of what it can do in-game. Don't really care about the design. And I love Skeledirge for the design, but I didn't really care.
Gen 7. Gen 7 was meh.
Is that the one with Poplio in?
Yeah.
Fuck Gen 7. Waste of time. And that is
Okay,
all
cool.
I'll say on the matter.
And you will get nothing more from me, sir. So
I
shut
said
up at your
good
face.
day.
I think following it back to the episode where we rated the starters, Gen 7 was our last as well.
Probably is. I think the one thing I will say is that it's shit. Right, anyway, so let's talk about these starters coming from winds and waves. Now, first of all, let's start with Timu Rowlet, because I think it's the worst one of the three, personally. It is Rowlet from Wish. It is Brout, which can very much brout of my way so that I can get to the other two. It looks fine, but it's yet another grass bird-esque starter. Like, I don't know what it is with grass starters and what they keep fucking getting wrong. But like Bulbasaur, phenomenal. Lovely, well done, top notch. Onion Turtle, thank you, sir. Turtwig, into Torterra, mwah, thank you, sir. Lovely, lovely stuff, very good. And like Trico, actually really decent, quite enjoy it. Chikorita was fucking there.
One of the starters of all time.
Yeah, it was very much one of a grass starter of all time. And then it's just from there, they've just, like, Serperia's great. I like Serperia. But then I just kind of like Decidueyes. Owl. It's just yet a large on our back. If you now ever play any of the Pokemon games where you manage to capture yourself a Rowlet and get all the way to Decidueye, if you do not call it Mr. Wise, you are a silly, silly person. But opinions on Brout. Instead of opinions, actually, we'll rate it 0 to 10. 10, absolutely out of the park. 0, in the bin with Prismatic. Ed.
7. I am
Tone?
actually quite a big fan.
5. And that's
I feel like
generous.
you're giving it 5 because you're scared of Ed.
No, I'm giving it a 5 because the only thing I like about it is its leaf eyebrows.
It's
That's
frowning.
it.
It is an angry bird.
Yeah.
I am hyped.
Yeah, that's why I can't get behind it,
That's-
because it looks like an
That
angry
drops
bird.
it down to a 4, Ed. Thanks.
I'm going to give it a very, very modest 2. Because of the eyebrows. Because I can imagine
That's it.
going ping on Angry Birds with it. I pray that this is kind of like I'm not the biggest fan of Chimchar, but I love Monferno and Infernape. And I hope that this goes down that route where, although I don't really care about Brout, its evolutions could be fantastic.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's
quite
like,
hopeful.
I love Totodile and Feraligatr, but I could leave Croconaw.
Yeah.
Because it's just teenage fat Totodile, which I could just skip.
Yeah.
Croconaw is just me if I painted myself blue and had a mohawk instead of a mullet. So it is what it is. Going into the fire starter, a twisted fire starter. It's the dog from Blade 3 that was held by Triple H. No, I'm joking. It is Pombon, the fire dog. Again, we'll do 0 to 10. I think it's very cute, but it's not my favourite of the three. But I have really high hopes for its evolutions, because I think that they could do almost like a little cute thing. It's Houndoom on steroids. You know, they could really juxtaposition this Pokemon. So I'm going to give it an 8. I think it's a good design. I think it's a good little colour. I think it's got a very cute look to it. But I really hope that it essentially evolves into Entei, but dark and evil and scary and end of the world.
I'm gonna agree on the 8. I think super adorable, and like you say, I'm really hoping that this is one of those where it's like the dog owner goes, "Oh, don't worry about him, he's friendly," and then he turns into fucking Satan himself. Like, I am expecting great things from this, and like, I actually think, a bit of a weird statement, but I think you'll know what I mean. I feel like this trio of starters is the most consistent, like, design and like vibe. So I sort of feel like when you look at, say, the Scarlet and Violet ones, like Fuecoco, unbelievable, world class, derpy little boy. But then you got fucking Quaxley, get in the bin, with your quiff. And then you had, was it Sprigatito?
Sprigatito.
Fine. But I don't feel like those three gelled as starters together. They were just three Pokemon you could choose from. Whereas with these, it's going to sound strange again, but the art style's consistent. How kind of like chibi, derpy they are, all works. You could tell just from looking at them that they are all from the same generation, not necessarily just, oh yes, these are Pokemon. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
I get what you're saying, and I think for a touch on that is that I think that Gen 9 starters, and again, this might be a weird statement, but work with me, is that all of them were basically just like, Quaxley was a ducklet.
Yeah.
It was just a repainted ducklet and given a stupid hat. Fuecoco was just a red Totodile and took away the spikes, and Sprigatito was just a green Purloin.
Yeah.
They just wanted to... I still stand by, even though I love Scarlet, and I'll screen print how many hours I've put into that goddamn game before anybody judges me in the bloody comments. I'm close to 1,000, and maybe more. And actually, if you count in the 2 runs that I've done on my fiance's account, so that I don't lose my progress, I'm probably past 1,100. I just felt like that game was like, we need a game. We need something to go out. Legends Arceus was fantastic. We need something. Go. Give me something. Repaint all of Unova and just put it out. Good. Thank you. I think those starters had great final evolutions, bar Quavel, which was shit. But it was like in Mortal Kombat when they came up with like Smoke and Rain, and it was just palette swaps of Sub-Zero and Scorpion. It's that. Tone, Pombon. I know it's not a water type, but is it high up on your list?
It's a 8 all round. I love dog Pokemon, so there we go. It's getting a high rating. It's the first time where like I always normally just go straight, pick the water Pokemon and just high hopes for it, and then we see how we go. Poplio let me down severely, as did Sobble. Quaxley, I got some love for you, boy. Fuck these two. I got love for it. It's actually a decent Pokemon when you play with it in the game. I love my dancing duck. Leave him alone. But for this generation, the Firestarter, I actually think it looks really cool. It does have that derpy look, of course, but I'm actually like considering it. Again, dog Pokemon. The only thing that puts me off of it is fire dog Pokemon, and one of my favourite Pokemon of all time, Arcanine. I'm like, if Arcanine's in this game, this Pokemon will be a moot point for me. I wouldn't use it. It's similar to Legends ZA. As soon as you could get Squirtle, Totodile, Crocodile, or Alligator got put into the box and never touched again because Blastoise joined my team. Sorry, not sorry. So that's the only thing. If there's an Arcanine, that is going in my team. So it still gets an 8 though. For the design, yeah, absolutely.
I think that it's... We'll get into the final one before I say what I think about where Pombon stands in the ratings, but anything's better than Brout. Personally, I can see why people will love it. Like, I don't look at it and I'm like, that is a bad designed Pokemon. Just for me, it's Rowlet 2.0. Like, I realise that like Fire Dog's been done, Water Lizard's been done. Every fucking Pokemon's been done now. But if we're gonna do something, it has to be different enough that I don't immediately go, that's just another Pokemon. Because like Pombon doesn't look like Growlithe. It doesn't look like Houndour. No. It doesn't necessarily look like Litleo and Pyroar. It has enough differentials that I'm like, that is that Pokemon. I could have 2 sips of a pint of Stella, bear in mind I haven't drunk in like 19 months, and I would be just pissed enough that Rowlet and Brout would look exactly the fucking same to me. I just need something different. Yeah. Just something small. But then again, like I said to you, this could evolve into the fucking coolest final stage evolution.
Absolutely.
And I will write my words down on a piece of paper and eat them on an episode. Please don't now be really good, because I don't want to eat paper on YouTube, all right? I've done enough stupid shit on YouTube. Finally, we get into the final of the trio that will come in Winds and Waves in Generation 10. Yes, I'm going to do that every time I mention Generation 10. It is the water lizard Gekwa. Now, if you're old enough and you've been on social media, you will remember a video that went round a couple of years ago where people take their credit card and they smash it violently into the desk. I'm going to reenact that now with this random Pokemon card that I have here on my desk. 10. This is absolutely 10. This is Generation 10, 10, 10, 10. It is the Ben 10 of top 10s of all 10s. I'm in for this Pokemon. I don't know what it is yet because I haven't played it, and I don't know what its evolutions might look like. It could be shit. It could have the worst looking final evolution, but I just look at Gekwa and I think, you sneaky, devious little bastard. What have you been doing? What are you about to get up to? I see you whipping up a little whirlpool. Take me on your adventure. I want to see what you get up to. It is the super hands of the three, because I just want to be the fly on the wall that sees what they get up to. There's something about Gekwa that is just, it's doing it for me, and I will more than likely be picking them. I will eventually do a run with all three, because I do every single time.
Yeah.
Unless you're Quaxley, in which case you can fuck off. I will actually admit that I've done a Poplio run, and I will tell you now that Water Fairy is disgustingly strong, but also the design is horrific and I never want to see it again.
What's the second stage of the evolution in between that and Primarina?
Yeah, I still don't know what it is. It's there. It's a rare candy away from being ignored. But yeah, Gekwa for me is 10. This is a top tier starter design, and I am a very big fan. Ed, I'm hoping that you're going to give it at least a 5.
Oh no, Gekwa's world class. This is a 9 from me. I think it's incredible. The only reason it's not a 10 is because I worry about how they'll evolve it. But I actually think that I've got all the starters up here, and this is definitely the best starter since Froakie, like Water one, because it's like we started strong with Squirtle, somehow like kept it going with Totodile. I even have a soft spot for Mudkip and Piplup. Oshawott, bit shit. Froakie, great. Poplio, get in the bin. Sobble, what you doing? Quaxley, it's on Epstein's list. But I feel like Gekwa, there's a lot of potential there. I love that it's the more like devious looking one. You got Brout that's angry, Pombon that's derpy, and Gekwa that's just a little cheeky little suave fella. I'll definitely be starting with Gekwa, but yeah, I think definitely the best one out of this, and I think Mush is going to take a while to come back from that.
We'll let him die
it was just the fact that Quaxley's been on the island just really fucking got me there. That was good. I could say it's all in the quiff. It's in the quiff. That is a wig.
Justice for Quiff Boy.
When they run out of baby oil, they need some other lubricant, and that's what Quaxley brings to the party.
Water gun for Diddy.
Gekwa's a 10. Straight up 10. 10, 10, 10. It is an incredible design. It looks epic. I am going to slightly disagree with Ed. I think it has the most potential for its evolutions as well. Like Aqua Gecko, I think, is a sick idea. I'm really interested in where it's going to go. And to segue into the evolution chat and what evolutions they can do, there's been a recent trend of third evolutions getting a secondary typing. What typings do we want to see? What typings do we think these guys will come with?
So,
I'll tell you. Sorry, Ed, because I'm just thinking of it. I don't want to see firefighting.
no.
I don't want to see firefighting. I don't want to see water dark. I don't want to see grass ghost. I don't want to see typings that keep getting repeated. Or grass dark.
Oh, it's really hard because obviously Brout's an owl, so you'd immediately get drawn to grass flying. which I could kind of live with
I could back
if
that,
they stuck with
especially-
it the whole way, rather than like Decidueye that's grass fighting, or grass ghost.
Unless they go grass dark, because he looks.
Meowscarada was grouse
But
dark.
Meowscarada
Grouse
was
dark, grass
Yeah,
dark.
but I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'd back it more with Brault for some reason.
I know.
Or grass
It's kind of-
because he is.
Or
angry.
Grass Fairy.
Nah,
I can't
No?
see
It
it
just-
being fairy.
I can't see it going that way. I would. Do you know what I'd love to see? And this was something that I was saying to Lucas on the way to Lincolnshire, is that I'd love to see each starter pick up the other starter's type and merge
See,
it together.
Yeah, I was.
So like Brault
thinking
gets
that.
so fucking angry that it creates fire from its beak, and then Ponbon can fucking swim or something, so it gets the water, and then
Yeah.
Gecko because it can live on land or in water can pick up the grass type. Like that would be cool to merge them, but then obviously they all cancel each other out.
You have lived in my brain, Mush, I swear, because that was going to be my next point of, like, Gecko would be a sick water grass type. So if they were to all do that and get the one they're weak against, which would then cancel it out, it would be a very interesting concept.
It would be interesting if they were to do it and then all three became neutral against each other.
Yeah.
So rather than you're all super effective against one or the other, it's actually all of you just hit the same amount against everybody. I think one that I would personally quite like to see, I'd love to see a return to Water Ground, because I'm a big fan of Swampert. Fire's really hard because in my head, right, Zacian and Zamazenta, Fairy and Steel, I'd love to see a Fire Steel type. And have its main, have it eventually evolve that its main gets rock. Because this is again like Ponbon evolving into something scary and devious and devilish and downright dirty in the depths of depravity. Have it become rock hard and have Fire Steel would be really cool. I don't think we need another Water Steel type because I don't see that working with that evolution line. It's hard to say. Fire Ground could also be cool. Have a camera up style typing. I think it's really difficult to be able to be like, this is what I'd love to see. I don't want to see any more fighting type starters. I don't want to see it. I think if you're going to add dark, it goes to the water more than it goes to the grass. And I think if you add dark to the fire type, you're just saying that this is discount Houndoom.
Discount, yeah.
You leave that alone. I think you'd need to look at it. I tell you what, one would be murderous is Ponbon grows up to be cute and it's Fire Fairy.
That would
Yeah.
work. I was
Yeah.
going to
'Cause
say. Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, I think that if you stuck with the cutesy and it grew up cute and gets bigger and more cuter and fluffier and whatever, you could use that as part of the typing. But it's hard to suggest one that I'm like, without knowing more or seeing more,
Yeah.
being like, this would fit.
I'd quite like Ponbon to be fire. I'm actually going to say fire rock. I think that'd be quite cool.
Okay, sick.
Gekwa, water poison. I think that'd be quite tasty.
If that happens, that's immediately my favourite starter of all time.
Yeah, like I think
It would
he's got
overtake
a look about
Bulbasaur
him.
because I love the design of that.
And then Brault's the only one that I'm kind of struggling with because it's like, could he potentially become like the steel type, but then grass steel, bit whatever. Don't want to see grass ghost. Grass
I don't wanna
fairy
see it,
possibly,
ghost.
but we've had that.
Grass Psychic, perhaps?
Actually, that would make sense with
Potentially,
owls, but
actually, yeah.
then-
Grass Psychic would be sick.
I mean,
that
they
just become
they
nasty?
should have given like Hoot Hoot should have evolved and lost the normal typing and gained the psychic typing into Noctowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you know? I think that's it's a normal type Pokemon that learns Confusion and Psychic and does the eyes and the hypnosis in the anime. So I think it's hard to be able to sit here and suggest what they could be, but I think Ed's probably narrowed it to the best selection. So I think Fire Fairy or Fire Rock, Water Poison, and Grass Psychic would be really, really cool because again they all have. If they do Grass psychic, fire, fairy, and water, poison, each of them are super effective against each other in that triangle. Poison,
Reverse
fairy,
both order.
psychic,
I would
poison,
still love to
water,
see
grass, and so on.
fire,
So
grass,
it would
and
somehow
water be
work out.
flipped.
Wouldn't it be
That's
really
still
funny if we do
best.
all this bullshit and it actually turns out that like Brout's a fire type, Gekwa's actually a grass type, and Ponbon's actually just a normal, and they don't have a fire starter? It would be
Grasqua.
yeah. None of you English people know how to say words. Dumb people. While we talk about things that are red and green, I think it's time for us to truly talk about the game that has just been re-released for the Switch and Switch 2, the nostalgic return to Kanto, which is now a nostalgic return to Kanto. It's Fire Red and Leaf Green. Now, this has been out for pre-order for the last couple of weeks and has now become available to play today, just after Pokemon Presents. I have already started. Now, anybody that's watching this podcast will be old enough or in Pokemon enough to have played at least either Red or Fire Red, or Radical Red if you're into ROM hacks and sadism, because that game is fucking horrible. Now, I'm very excited to be able to play this and not play it on 500 times speed and actually take it all in. I will be doing a completionist run. I will get the whole Pokedex. I am doing a poison type only team because it's where my love of poison types began, and I can finally have 90% of the Pokemon that I love in my group of 6. Now, I've obviously picked Bulbasaur as my starter. Tone has picked Squirtle as his starter because Doi, which means that dear old Ed, just to round us out and be a good lad, is going to be picking Charmander in his Leaf Green. This is where he goes, haha, Porygon, and really throws a swerve. So Ed will be taking Charmander. We have all named our rivals after a member of the podcast, and we will be keeping up with where everybody gets to. But my question
We've done
for you
it
boys
very
is...
cool as well, where our rival has that Pokemon. So
Yes.
my rival is Mush, that has Bulbasaur. Mush's
My rival is
that
Ed,
has
which
a
does have Charmander.
and Ed will have a Tone that has Squirtle.
So it is very, very cleverly done. Now, I'm going to do the really simple one. Rather than recapping a game that's been recapped 1,000 times on YouTube and every podcast here, there, and everywhere, starting, and I'll start just to give you boys time to keep up, what is your team, fully evolved, going to look like by the end of the game? Now, I've been thinking about this a lot because I know that obviously my starter is going to be Venusaur. I'm going to have Venusaur. I'm going to have Arbok. That would just be silly to say that I'm not going to have Arbok. Now, you can't do trades in this game, which means that I am not going to be running Gengar in my team of 6. Because if I could, I would, because it's Ghost Poison. That makes sense. So, my team will be, hopefully, as follows. Venusaur, Arbok, Tentacruel, Beedrill, Weezing or Muck, whoever I catch first, Nidoking or Nidoqueen, depending on, again, who I catch first. I will probably, at some point, be swapping out Beedrill for Golbat or Crobat, but that's like my core 6 poison types. There are obviously more in the game, like I can get Vileplume, I can get Venomoth. There is also the either Nidoking or Nidoqueen. There's a couple of others out there that I could pick for my squad, but those 6 or 7 are the ones that truly stand out for me as poison types. If I had it my way and I could get Jotonian Pokemon in there as well, I'd be a living dream, as they say up in the northern echelons of England. But yeah, for me that is my 6. I will be doing a poison type.
It does have some other generations of Pokemon in there though, doesn't it? Fire Red.
You can post game. When you do the Sevi Islands, I believe. But yeah, so that is my 6. So we'll do Tone next because he has at least started the game.
Cool. So it comes at no surprise that Blastoise will be heading up my team. Next, I've already discussed him, and I picked Fire Red for this exact reason. Sorry, Leaf Green, you don't have an Arcanine, so I've chosen Fire Red so that I can get my big Fire Boy. Next, Mush kind of discussed this a little bit there. Luckily, Luckily, we can't do trades because I wouldn't trade anyway. I'd have Haunter in my team as my ghosty. Always a staple ghost in my team. It's the final three that I, as a VGC player, I get a couple of my favourites in my team. Normally, them three. Even in Scarlet and Violet, I got Haunter and Arcanine and left them in my team for a while. As for the others, I always chop and change, but the three standouts for me, one that I instantly saw that I normally put in my team as early as I can is Alakazam. I like to get a Psychic Boy on my team, and Alakazam's normally my go-to, and it's only in the recent games that Gardevoir's kind of slowly pushed him out because of the fairy typing as well. But Alakazam will probably join my team. Next, it will be, mainly because I love him, is Onyx. And I always have an internal struggle because growing up as a kid, I actually preferred Golem more. And then I can't even tell you when it was, but there was a point where I started preferring Onyx. And I actually love them both, but Golem's a bit trash in the game sometimes. And I just love Onyx. Might put him in the team, but he normally gets changed out here and there. My final pick, because I don't really want anyone grass, because I don't care. Oh, I'm being an idiot. My final pick, always in my team as well, Raichu. How dare I forget? Raichu's going in my team. Onyx will be the one that I chop and change with other Pokemon. Like Nidoking will be part of my team for some of it. Who else would be part of my team? Muck, because Muck's a funny Pokemon, as is Weezing. I'll chuck one of them in my team for Bants. Arbok as well, mainly. Maybe. But yeah, staples will say Blastoise, Arcanine, Haunter, Raichu, Alakazam, Onyx.
Got some stacked teams. I think I will be going Charizard, Nidoking, Dragonite, Haunter, Rhydon, and did I say Slowbro? Because if not, definitely Slowbro. So yeah, I think that's my 6. It's annoying that you can't do the evolution because I'd want to put Machamp in there. Obviously, I'd want to put Gengar in there, like the trade evolution. So kind of bummed out a bit there. But then Exeggutor is one that I always actually quite like putting in because Grass Psychic is fantastic, and I actually really rate Exeggutor as a Pokemon. So yeah, that's a strong potential. But yeah, I think that's going to be. I love Rhydon. I think he's criminally underrated. Rhyhorn, literally an armoured Rhino.
Fair.
What's
Absolutely
not to love? And then Dragonite, because, I've got to have my boy on there.
How much for you to do a kaiju-only run? Because we discussed this, personally between the two of us, and it's hard to try and find 6 active kaiju-looking Pokemon in 151, but if you give it a little bit of leeway... you could use Rhydon, you could use Onyx, you could use Kangaskhan, you could use Nidoking or Nidoqueen. I would say Aerodactyl would fit into that as well because of just sheer presence at this point. But you could use Dragonite because it is a big dragon.
As a starter? Because I'd say Blastoise is more kaiju than Charizard.
I said that Blastoise would technically be the most kaiju-esque starter. So yeah, I think, again, if you want to, Eddie Bear Collects over on YouTube, get over there, go and hound him, subscribe and comment, because realistically I've completed YouTube, I need new content, so come on.
Technically,
Snap
if you get an
people.
XL Slowbro could be a kaiju.
I'll take it.
I mean, I don't think we have that option in Fire Red, but I admire your commitment to the cause there, Tone. But that...
Does Starmie count? Because we know what's coming.
With the legs.
20 odd years down the line.
And that is all we have time for. Thank you for joining us on the Pokemon. But that pretty much, as a massive whole, covers a mass chunk of everything that's kind of happened across Pokemon Day and how we as a podcast feel about it and how we kind of view it going forward. And I think that wraps it up nicely to stop talking about what's coming and lead us into talk about what has happened as we kind of recap our times at the European International Champions London EUIC and then the Lincolnshire Card Show. EUIC, what can I say? I mean, apart from getting to have a teenage sleepover with me and Ed vocal stimming until like 2 a.m. Tone's having a breakdown.
I'm so sorry. We normally have a break before this. I am going to piss myself if I don't go pee now. So I need to piss.
No, honestly, please stop mid-recording for you to go and I'm going to put this in. This is staying in. And then it'll cut until when you come back. So it is time for us now to recap all of the things that happened for us at the European International Championships, EUIC London, and of course the Lincolnshire Card Show. Our last 2 videos you will have seen us upload on the YouTube channel will be of our times vlogging at these 2 events. Now, we very, very much got to enjoy a teenage version of a sleepover at dear old Tone's house when his poor wife had to put up with 3 autistic men stimming for 4 to 5 straight hours because we played TCG live, and then me and Ed basically just went to bed going, "Wizard," for 45 straight minutes.
I just remember being in the bedroom and just literally, I was just here for about 10 straight minutes. Wizard. Quiet. Wizard. A little bit louder.
It's not even wrong. That is spot on to exactly what was happening. Even me and Ed kept like chatting shit, and then one of us would just go, "We should really shut the fuck up now and get some sleep. It's late." And then the other one would be like, "Yeah, man, wizard," and then we'd both start again. We are the best of friends, and we don't get to spend the best amount of time together. So when we do, I will 100% categorically tell you that we have a fucking good time, and we hang out and we have a laugh. It was lovely to be able to gather around Tone's dining room table, play some TCG games with our decks that we were kind of practicing and testing out for what we were going to run at side events at EUIC. And it was just a wholesome and really fun fucking time. And what more could you really want for? It was only then in the morning that I think all 3 of us realised the sheer fucking size of the event we were actually going to, because we walked in and it was such a surreal moment. You know, we were going as just spectators or content creators or whatever you want to fucking call us. 3 fans of Pokemon is what we went as, and that was kind of it. We didn't go specifically in mind to be doing anything, and we just wanted to kind of capture our time minimally and enjoy our time maximally. So what you got to see was just like a fraction of the kind of shit that we got up to. You got to see Tone really badly miss the knock the cans down, and me also do terribly, and Ed absolutely smash it in the pocket thing. But it was kind of like I feel like it was quite surreal at points for me, because it was kind of like we got to sit down and watch TCG, like the European Championships, like the stuff that I would only sit and watch on YouTube. I got to watch that live and in living colour. It's like going to like the proverbial FA Cup final and getting to watch like the big game. It was so cool. There was so much to do, and there were so many lovely people that we met while we were there, got to hang out with, took photos of, like so many creators and players of TCG that we know and speak to on Instagram regularly, that we finally got to put like faces to names. There were a couple of scalpy vendors, and you guys can get absolutely fucked. But all in all, the vibes were immaculate. A big shout out, and I will shout him out, to I Choose Chan, our good friend Chan, who had made his way over from Ireland to work EUIC, who quite literally sprinted across the Excel Centre when we were there and came and jumped us just to say hello. Literally just to say hello and kind of take a photo, give us a hug, and then bugger off to go to work. But that kind of interaction for me was so nice, because there were so many people that took time out of their experience there to come and speak to us. And we did loads of things, but the thing that I mostly want to recap, because I think it's the thing that all three of us got to truly experience, was TCG side event. So all three of us picked a deck, updated it onto Arcane with the help of Ed, because me and Tone are special in our own kind of ways. And we finally got to pick out what we wanted. Now, for the event, I ran Mega Lucario. Tone, you ran...
Team Rocket's Mewtwo.
Ed, you ran...
Slowking.
And all three of us, I think, after playing each other a number of times, because we had lots of practice matches throughout the day, I think we were all feeling...
And the night before.
And the night before. Semi-confident? I'd like to say faking it till we made it, really.
I
would be
wasn't
the best
feeling
way to...
confident at all.
But
my first ever in-person game was at mine the night before, and I was bricking it. And I remember, like, my first game, I was shaking. Like, it was nervy.
So we'll recap it game by game. So first game, Ed's not going to want to talk about his first game, but we will get a story out of him. So I ran Mega Lucario, and my first game was against a Archaludon Mega Mawile kind of like combination, of which I've never seen before. I've never played against it before. My opening hand was awful, and I ran some awful hands because I was just got bad draw. I managed to finally get myself going, built up to some Lucarios, got a Hariyama out, activated its ability Heave-Ho Catcher to drag in something it had on the bench, and I killed his Mega, and I kind of got myself going, and we finally got down to a prize card each, and it was like I could see victory, and my only loss would be if he had Boss's Orders, and he was like, draw, I've got game, Boss's Orders top deck, everybody's fallen victim to it at least once. It was a really good game, and the guy was really nice. We had a nice chat afterwards, because like I said to him, I've never seen your deck, and he said this is one that I don't normally play. He was like, I've kind of seen it recently and kind of enjoy it, and it will get better post rotation, especially with the additions of Dynamo, Electric, and Mega Electros, with the basically like a regenerator that just keeps getting electric energy every turn. It was nice to have a conversation with somebody that didn't make me feel stupid for basically not playing very well. And that was a recurring theme that you'll find out as I talk about the rest of my games. I don't know how the boys went on, but I was lucky that everyone I played was nice. Game 2 was a little bit brutal, but we'll get to that. So Ed, your first game obviously wasn't the most perfect start that anybody wants, but walk us through what happened.
So I sit down, and immediately my opponent, who I later found out has been a top 5 and top 10 finisher at regional events in the junior division, whacks out an Anaheim playmat, so I know I'm in absolute fucking like panic stations. But you know, fake it till you make it. It's like, oh yeah, I've not even heard of Anaheim, mate. What is it? Is that a Pokemon? And then I, try to make some small talk by going, hello, how's it going? To be met with, I don't speak a word of English. And I'm like, sound? Okay, this can be good. French kid, absolutely incredible player, to be fair to him. But when obviously, as you'd expect, his deck is all in French, mine's all in English, there was language barriers. It started off a bit tricky. Obviously, Pokemon's great because it brings people together from all over the world, and that's what these events are for. But it also makes it quite difficult when it's not in like full playing conditions because it's side event. He sets up a Mega Kangaskhan, and I believe he was running the Kangaskhan Bouffalon like stall deck. I've only played against it once or twice maybe, so not one that I'm massively familiar with. I'm running Slowking, and I'm like, right, in terms of prize mapping, if I can take out that Mega Kangaskhan and then like get a nice little Curem Trifrost on his basics, I've got game in potentially like 2 turns. So I'd got a good board state, managed to sequence, get my Slowking into the active with Jet Energy, and then I top deck my Annihilate to use Destined Fight, knocking us both out, so that I can claim 3 prizes, they can claim 1, and then they've got like no draw, no acceleration on the board, they've just got like Boufflant. So I was like, happy days, this might actually go my way. Because my opponent had never played against a deck that had the Annihilate with Destined Fight in, they made a judge call, completely understand it, need to understand what the card means. That takes quite a while because we need a French translator, then an English translator, and all a bit of a nightmare. So we actually get given a 5-minute extension on our game. And then after the effect of Destined Fight is being discussed, and he's like, oh, okay, yep, that's fine. He moves his Kangaskhan into the discard, all attached energies, whatever, and takes his prize card. I take my 3. As soon as I take my 3, he does another judge call, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? I couldn't see it, and because of like the language barrier of the card and the limited interaction we had, it turns out he had a mist energy attached to his Kangaskhan, which prevents the effects of attacks. Obviously, Destined Fight does no damage, it just knocks out both Pokemon. So it was actually deemed an illegal knockout, which I suffered a 3 prize penalty. My prize cards got shuffled, my hand got shuffled. Loads of things like that happened that really disrupted the flow of the game, and it sort of felt a bit like, well, if you knew that I wasn't able to do that, why did you not say, oh, I've got mist energy attached? You waited until I'd taken prize cards to then immediately shoot your hand up. And as well, it's quite tricky with, say, like, if this is the card they had in question, and then all you can see is like basic energy or like energy attached, like you can't really see what that means. So I was a bit like bummed out after that first game, because after that, like, there was just no coming back from it, because my Slowking was still knocked out. They'd taken a prize. I had nothing sort of in the works because I was gearing up for my next turn and being able to use the prize cards that I drew, because I had a max rod like ready, but then that got shuffled back into my prize cards and stuff, and it just, yeah, it sort of started off the side event in quite a frustrating way, and sort of, I think it sort of set the tone for the rest of the little league that we were playing in, because I was a bit like, that shouldn't have happened. That wasn't really like fair or good. So immediately, like after that, I think I lost in like the next turn because I didn't really have anything else I could do, because I was banking on that max rod or like some kind of draw. So I was just like, yeah, that's game there, which was incredibly frustrating. But it's just one of those things. Like, you can't always get the good draw, and unfortunately, sometimes like these things will happen. But yeah, very frustrating, especially when I had like victory mapped out perfectly, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is actually going to be sick, and then, you know, it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying. I remember when we all gathered after that game, it was just like, it sucks. Like, there feels like there should have been some leniency, like not just oh well, the rules state that you are to be punished 3 prize cards. It's like there needs to be some leniency when language barriers are involved, because again, it's like you said, it's he had accepted it and he'd taken his prize card. He'd already made the moves that the move was accepted. So surely there should be well, he has acknowledged and done. Yeah, whatever's played is played now. But that's by the by. So I played my very first in-person game in a competitive format. I was absolutely cacking it. Like I said, the first in-persons was the night before, where we're playing for fun, and I already instantly learned, which I wasn't aware of because we were playing for fun. He's like, I want to split your deck. The person I was playing against I also played against someone French. I literally, if you have never played the TCG before, gone to any of these events, long tables, and you're all literally sitting opposite tables, but you're next to loads of others. And I literally announced it was my very first in-person game. I only started playing yesterday. And the ring of people around me all just looked at me, and I was like, "Oh, tell us more. What got you into it?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, very on the spot, and like, "Oh my god, I'm shitting it." I played Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Guy opposite me was playing a Goldengo deck, which I'd played 2 days before this, just because I was playing it on the app. Because one of my daily tasks was I needed to play an electric energy. So luckily, I actually knew a little bit how this deck runs. If you don't know the Goldengo deck, it is literally you are farming loads of energies to basically, I think it's discard, so that the more you've got, it is discard energies, right? And then 50 per energy you discard is your attack. And it started off very even, and I was getting set up. I was getting a couple of Mewtwo set up, a couple of Spidops set up, and the turn before the turn that changed the entire game, he got himself in a really good position. I got myself in a really good position. He was also playing French cards, so I was just having to double check what he was doing, because again, I was learning, and there were still cards that I was like, oh, what does that do? And he starts his turn by playing an energy for turn. And then he goes through and he does his whole, the Goldengo deck is, I'm going to play this trainer and get more energy and more energy and more energy. And at the very end of the turn, he went, I'm going to play an energy for turn and attack. And I went, 1 minute, you've already played an energy for turn. You can't do that. And if he did, he would have probably ruined my strategy and I would have probably lost. He realised, he accepted, but he got very internally angry very quick when he realised what he'd done, because my board was set up, Mewtwo there, knock out all 3 Goldengos consecutively as each turn went on, because he couldn't do enough damage, because I can't remember what I'd done. I think his hand, I think he discarded enough, but then he just couldn't get the damage done to me. And I think, I was Team Rocket's Giovanni in another Mewtwo, putting one back on the bench with a bit of damage, and Team Rocket in his Gimmigles before they could evolve, and it got me the win. And he was very, very angry and salty, and just said a very quick GG, circled my name. But I actually got my very first game a win. And I remember jumping up from the table afterwards, trying to keep it all composed, and then just looking around the room for you two, just like absolutely buzzing. And it was like I just had someone shoot 5 bloody insulin jabs into my leg. I was jittery and bouncing and jumping off the walls, because in our prediction video, which you've all saw because you've all obviously watched the EUIC video, I said I was going to go 0-3. So the fact I actually got a win is mind-boggling. But yeah,
it was incredible.
Let's get one.
Just saying, it was incredible that Tone picked up the win.
I mean, spoiler alert: me and Ed went 0-3. So you're only going to hear me and Ed get slammed for the next couple of games. Honestly, as just a friend of Toad's, I couldn't be more proud and more stoked that you went in and held your own and was just like, actually, I'm not going to stand for that shit. You're not going to pull a swift one here. And then going, and any TCG player that watches this, he goes in with a box deck, how it comes in the box, no changes. Go in against a seasoned Goldengo player and win with a box deck is like playing 5-a-side football butt naked with no boots and scoring 5. You know, it's absolutely incredible work.
For context, obviously I told you guys I didn't start the story with this. Obviously I was going around telling him I'm all new. He was reeling off every single tournament he's been to all over Europe, and he was like, I've never been America, but I've been here, I've been Germany, I've been Italy, I've been Spain, I've been England, this, that and the other, I've done this, I almost won this. And I was like shitting it, and I think he was fuming because my very first competitive game, and I beat him with Mewtwo box deck.
We go into game 2. I sat down and my opponent sat down. Lovely chat, little bit of back and forth. How was your first game? I bricked and then clawed it back, nearly won. And he went, I did really well this morning, but I lost my first game, but I just lost the type advantage. And I wondered what he was playing. Draw cards, set everything up, flip. Fucking frillish. Which immediately I knew was going to end up with... And I lost the coin flip, so he wanted to go second. He obviously wanted to set up for item lock. I was like, maybe if he's running frillish, maybe there's a fucking chance he's not running Gardevoir. Bollocks to it. Straight off the rip, I literally got a Makahita out. I again had a terrible hand. That bench had so many rolts on it, I thought it was a fucking scary Reddit thread. It happened so it sounds daft to be like it happened so fast, but it did. A couple of turns went by. He then had 2 Curliers and a Gardevoir. He was just drawing everything he could ever want. Even he was saying throughout the game, he was like, if you ever want a dream hand, it's what I'm drawing right now. And we kind of just started laughing because I was just like, I liliesed into the other 3 lilies that are in my deck.
Oh.
It was honestly, we need to put that dog down, and then missing every shot, but just taking like a bit of the skin or like an ear off. It was brutal, and it was like 3 or 4 turns later, he was just like, he got the Scream Tail out. I managed to knock out the Jellicent with a Lucario that I'd finally got out with, to be honest, a clever little bit of play of bait and switch and then some premium power pros. And I could see game a couple of turns down the line, but I needed to get there. But because he'd had time to kind of bang out a few of my basics, it left him with 3 prize cards. His Scream Tail had as much damage on it as I do after 32 years alive. So it was just kind of like, gone. And he funnily enough, I was telling him that he had game, and he was like, I don't. And I was like, no, I'm weak to Psychic. You've got, like, you're doing 210 doubled. I do not have 420. This isn't Rob Van Dam. I'm not smoking fat reefers. You've won. And then he was like, oh. And then we had a really nice chat afterwards, but it was just like, when you're playing Gardevoir with a Lucario, like, not only have you got type disadvantage, but he quite literally had Hand of the Gods, so it sucked. So I lost. 0-2 at this point. 0-3 overall.
Yeah, I would like to claim that my game 2 went better, but I was up against a Greninja that had Pidgeot in it, so it's like immediately they're just consistently searching for what they need and then able to attack my bench, which in a Slowking deck is like the highest HP Pokemon you have is your Pheasantipity, and that's a bit of a glass cannon because it's only 210, weak to fighting as well, which the Terra Greninja is. So I was just a bit up against it, and I mean, my opponent did a couple of slightly dodgy plays with like rare candies and then not discarding them. Could have made a judge call. After the first game, I was dejected and I was like, I don't want to put someone else through that, so I'm just gonna let it play out. Almost had game. Unfortunately, it came down to me doing a bit of a Hail Mary top deck, hoping to get something good, and it was a Nest Ball that I sought inspiration from. So, short of actually throwing a ball at him, I couldn't do a thing. So, at that point, I was like, that's game. Because I think we were down to like a prize card each. Had I had any Pokemon there, it would have won. But it's just like, that's the good thing about Pokemon is you can only play the cards that you dealt. So like the best player in the world could have the worst draw going, and then it could like win them or lose them a game. So yeah, it could be interesting. It was nice to have a bit more of a competitive game, but yeah, it just did not go my way on the day.
Well, my second game, I've just come off a game where I went toe-to-toe with a Goldengo deck, won convincingly, was on a massive high, and I sat down against this incredibly lovely Norwegian guy, also has been to other events and played regularly, played in EUIC as well. For context, on the day just before we went into the side event, me and Mush played a game. And Mush played this incredible card against me called Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, which again, I'm very new. And because we're playing with friends, I'm not asking him what cards, stats, abilities are until he's using it against me. So I'm like, I get a Mewtwo up, get 2 energy on it, got my bench full, and I'm like, yeah, I'll easily knock out that Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon quickly because I want quick 2 prize points. And I go to knock it out I'm like, yeah, knock it out. He's like, no, Tone. He lets me boss his orders in like the dick he is. He's like, yeah, go on then. Yeah, I'll put it in for you. I'm like, yeah, attack for knockout. He's like, no. Look at the ability. Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon has an ability where a Pokemon with an ability cannot do damage to it. And majority of my deck does that. Reason I say context is because second game, I've sat opposite a Lucario deck player who immediately whips out Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, and my heart falls into my arsehole. Again, a Team Rocket's Mewtwo deck, what Pokemon can I really use? I can use a Tarantula that can do 30 damage a turn while also doing 10 damage to itself. Kind of locked, unless I can switch that out. And by the time I pulled a card, which I could, because this game I completely bricked it, it got to a point where I was just going, there were 2 turns in a row where I drew and I went, yeah, pass it on. I just sat there, I was like, this is harsh compared to the last game I just had. And he was very nice about it. I finally got a couple of a bit of momentum going, but by that point he was 3 prize cards down. I took 1 prize card. He then took another 2 by knocking out my Mewtwo, and I was like, yeah, I'm happy to scoop. And him being as nice as he was, like, no, you can still come back. You've got another Mewtwo set up. You got this. And I literally went, I will draw this card face up. Because I need, and I can't remember what the card was specifically, but I was like, I need I said, I need Ariana, because I need to draw more cards. If I do not get this, I am fucked. And it was just a dark energy. And I went, I'm scooping. He went, I understand. And it was very lovely about it, and we shook hands. And yeah, but I completely bricked that game.
I think that's like Ed said, is like, it's really hard because you can only play what you dealt, which leads me perfectly into talking about Game 3, because fucking what a doozy this was. So Ed and Tone had regionals players, worlds players, juniors, masters, and all of the like. I sat down, I looked around, and the guy next to me was playing a Mega Lucario build, and I'll get to that in a minute. Kid sat down, boom, worlds playmat. Couldn't have been older than like 11 at most. Very polite, very nice young chap. And I said, how's EUIC been? He went, I've just dropped out of day 2. I've just missed out on day 3 by like, I think he needed another win, and he drew to make it to day 3. And he was like, so I thought I'd go and get my spare deck out of the car and just kind of like, I'm here for the weekend. Enjoy myself. It's funny because like I say spare deck, and like it's brutal. So we sat, and I was like, have you played in any other? He said, I played in the 1 o'clock one as a warm up, because I still had he was playing in the side events outside of playing in his matches because he had time. And I was like, you're taking the fucking piss, in here. What the fuck are you on about? Okay, cool, sick. I don't even know how like he physically scheduled this, or if he dropped like earlier in the day and had time to play inside events. Sat down, drew my opening hand, and I cannot fucking stress how funny this is. So you get 7 cards opening hand. I got 1 Riolu, 5 Fighting Energy, and 1 Lily's Determination. It is possibly the most powered brick ever. That thing was fucking stronger than a Nokia 3310, if you remember that vintage of phone. And he flipped, and he was playing the Ethan's Typhlosion build as his spare deck. A deck that anything that runs single prizes against my Mega Lucario can be a pain in my ass, because I give, like Ed said earlier with the taking a Kangaskhan and trading it for a prize, 3 for 1. is, a great deal on a Friday night in a pub. No, it's just hard to kind of like counteract that. We had a really good game because I lilies off of that really bad opening hand because I went second, and I got Soul Rock, I got Lunatone, I got a Makahita, I got a Fighting Gong, I got an Energy, I got a Premium Power Pro. So his first Cyndaquil immediately fell. And we had a really good back and forth game. I think I got 3 prizes ahead, so I was down to 3 left. He then took my my Lucario, and then I had Ogerpon out blocking him because I believe that all of his Quillavas that were out had abilities. So I was like, just put Ogerpon out. Won't be a fucking problem. No stresses here. It's fully energized because I've used Aura Jab more times than I care to talk about. And immediately he was just like, I'll just Night Stretch a Rare Candy. Bang. Typhlosion. From the Cyndaquil that was on the bench. And I just looked and like one of my eyes went in a little bit like this. And I was like, oh God. And then it was just bonded by the journey, attach energies, put into the thing, take Ogerpon down to a prize. I was lucky at this point that I drew another Lucario, was powered up, came out, and we both went down to a prize each. And I was like, right, unless he can hit me for however much, I'm fine. Absolutely fine. Draws for turn, he looks at his hand, he shuffles a little bit. Lilies. All right, fair enough. Back in, shuffle, and I'm like, he's hitting 300 right now. And I've got I'm fully powered, got 340. I was like, all I need to do is survive. I've got Mega Brave. I've even got Premium Power Pros just to be a dick if I need to. Like, I might actually win this. This is going, like, we had a really good game, good conversation. Vitality Band, Black Belts training. He was just showing me everything he had in his hand. I was just like, oh, fucking. So he played Black Belts training, played Vitality Band, which gave him a perfect 340 KO on the Lucario, and he was like, I only took the Lucario because I would have felt bad doing this. And then he showed me the other 4 cards in his hand, which were 2 bosses and 2 fire energies, which would have given him KO on everything I had on the bench as well. So I was like, I mean, you've done it with honour. I appreciate it, but it was just kind of like, he was just like, you think you're fucked? Have you ever considered Spiky Dildo? Because he could have just done whatever he wanted to me. I was merely a passenger upon said journey to the end game. So a shout out to him because he was a really, really polite young man, and even his dad came over to collect him, and he said, like, was he nice? I said he was very talented, very polite. And he said, oh, lovely. You did, and he was really nice to his son. He said, oh, let's go get something from the Pokemon Center tomorrow because we've got our slot, and I'll treat you because you've tried really hard this weekend. Like, it was really nice to see, but I was just in the back of my mind, all I could think was, yeah, that fucking boss's orders was right there, wasn't it? How long was that in your fucking hand, you bastard? Oh, yeah, it was brutal. Like, I know he lilied into it, so he wouldn't have been able to play it anyway, but he would have... He had game, and I was just like, yeah, fucking cheers, mate.
I just realised very quickly, my spare prize points I had, I gave them to that kid without realising, didn't I? Yeah. Because I wanted to gift them to a kid so they could get more prize, and you were like, he's already got enough.
Yeah, that was like, just kick me while I'm down tone. Cheers, mate.
that boy that just beat me, I'm going to reward him.
I can't wait for Tone to come to my wedding and be like, is this the happiest day of your life? Gunshot wound to the thigh.
Oh, God. Speaking of pain, my third and final game, this was definitely my favourite game of the day, was up against a Terra Charizard Pidgeot deck. So it's one that Slowking is weak to unless I can get like a good setup just because of the dark type of the Terra Charizard EX. Really, really competitive game. Lovely guy I was playing with. It went like surprisingly long. I think we almost ran out of time, and it came down to him at the very end being able to use Pidgeot to search for boss's orders to take out my Pheasantipity. I had one prize card left to take. He had the 2, and getting to boss in the Fez at the very end was just enough for him to be able to get the win. And I mean, I was super happy with it because it's like a mismatch for me. Great game, super competitive, great chat throughout, and it was just like that. He was from Malta, I believe, so it's like just class being able to sit across from someone from like another part of the world, just chat, play Pokemon, and like have a wonderful time whilst we did it. It's one of those as well. At that point, I was so burnt out because it had been such a long day. Like 4-hour drive down to Tones the night before, maybe 3 hours sleep at his because Mush and I just couldn't shut up. It got to the point where it was like 3 a.m. We're like, oh yeah, we've got to be up in 2 hours. Should we go to bed? It's like, yeah, probably.
And for context as well, at this point, we got to the event at 8 o'clock. So that's not including waking up and getting there. At this point of the day, is in the back end of the games we were playing. It's now 7 p.m. So we'd already been at the event for 11 hours.
Yeah, and it was overstimulating as fuck. What an experience it was. And like finishing up on like a nicer game like that after the previous 2 rounds was really nice. And it just got to the point as well where I was there like, boys, I am so ready to go home now. But yeah, side events were a hell of a lot of fun, and I will definitely be participating in more of them in the future. But yeah, just by that point, just get me home.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I had a very similar last match in the sense of some of yours, where I sat down, someone bought I think it was the London Worlds mat out, and he was Chinese and barely spoke a word of English. His deck was fully Chinese, but he was also, in his limited English, really nice and polite, and he could understand English, but he knew that I can understand, and he would take, in broken English, take his time to explain every card he was playing, because he was playing up against, he was playing a deck where I was warned about this deck by many people. He was playing Dragapult, which is a deck that I can't really play, because I learned it, because I realised how much of a shithouse it can be. And yeah, he was playing Dragapult, and I didn't immediately book it. And then I got halfway through the game and bricked it completely, where I was getting nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think I took 2 prize cards and then stalled. And he was like, yeah, well, I'm going to do this, do this, do this. I was like, okay, let me set up this Spidops. And he's like, your Spidops with 50 health. Dragapult, kill, boom. Take out your Mewtwo, yeah, 3 prize points. I'm like, finish me off now. Okay, I'm done. See you later. But it was so kind, and it was a nice game to end on because of how lovely he was. And he was like trying to teach me while also bending me over and fucking me.
It was just the noise you just made, followed by going, "Please finish me off," and then bend me over and fuck me. You really want to just work on those combinations.
My wife worries. She really does.
I'm not surprised after she actually saw all 3 of us in action. I don't mean in action. I just mean. I don't know what I mean
said
anymore.
it now. No, but yeah, again, it was. I literally was like, yeah, you've got the win, and I let him win. I didn't want to just scoop and ruin his game, because I was again holding out hope that I could have got Team Rocket's Giovanni and quickly switched my Mewtwo in and see what I could have done. But no, it was a really interesting, because everyone kept telling me about this Dragapult deck, and I'd not seen it in person. So seeing it in person, as much as it abused me, yeah, it was fun.
I think that's the one thing. I think when Ed first introduced me to actually playing, and what I've learnt since is that there's there's games where you will see that you've lost probably before your opponent has seen that they're winning. And it's like I had a game earlier that I sent screenshots into the group chat because I honestly I couldn't make up the fucking situation I found myself in on TCG Live. But I think that's something that we're very lucky about, is that we. Are you all right?
Something just dropped off my desk. I could see it falling. I was trying to stop it fall, and
All
I
good.
made it worse.
I think that's the thing with card games, especially because obviously you only see what they've got out on their board. You can't see the hand. You can only gauge reaction, and if you're sat there looking at your hand going, "Fuck," sometimes it's almost easier to just say, "Look, man, unless fucking Jesus himself comes down from Arceus's fucking heaven house, there ain't shit that's happening here."
Yeah.
I'm a scoop. You know, there's no shame in it. But I think also there are a number of games where I've been like, I'm going to concede. Oh, fuck it. I'll see what I draw. And I've managed to draw it back. So there is definitely, I can say, like, even if you think you're on the fucking wrong side of a fucking can of whoop ass, hold out, because you never know. Like, the next card you draw might be the most important card ever. But
it takes
all in all,
is what I'm learning.
even though Tone was the only one that got a win out of all of us, and with the fact that I still had 4 hours travel home afterwards, I still think it was an incredible event. And I won. Like, I left 0-3, and all I could say to the other two was like, I'm getting back here next year. Like, I'm getting back here next year with a fucking competitor's badge. I'm getting that kit. I'm going to go 0-8, but I'm going to fucking try to get to going 0-8. You know, there's something really, really unique. Like, I've played sports in my life. I've skateboarded, and I've been defeated and left feeling dejected and fed up and miserable and like I don't want to do it anymore. And yet Pokemon at the moment, for me, might change in the future, but I get my ass kicked and I go home being like, oh, I got my ass kicked, but like, I fucking had that bloke, you know. I had that person, like I ran this deck and it walled them. Like, I'm so positive about negative results. It's a very fresh feeling for me personally, and I hope that if anybody that watches it, or either of my fellow co-hosts, keep going, you feel the exact same way. It's definitely a longer episode today, because there's just been so much that's happened in the sphere of our niche hobby that we get into. But I have to talk about a show that we went to, which is Lincolnshire Card Show. Now, before we get into it, because we'll do a little bit of a quicker roundup, because it's a card show. If you want to know what actually happened, go and watch the vlog. We made it for you to watch. Before we do, I want to say a massive, massive shout out to our boy Lucas. Not only was he basically my hotel and my taxi to the show, but he does so much of the camera work for us. Just to lighten the load for me, because I do a lot of the camera work and the editing. So it's nice to have somebody to kind of back me up. And at these shows where it's nice for me to get in front of the camera and actually present with Tone and Ed, rather than me poking them and being like, do content now. It's a massive help, and we as a three couldn't be more grateful. And all of you are bastards because you didn't vote for his gold Teal Mask Ogerpon. That was a good card, and you've done him Teal Mask Ogerpon. You've done him a disservice there, but a big shout out to him. And secondly, a massive, massive thank you and big shout out to Meliverse/Pokemel, the legend that is her, for putting on such a fantastic event. Not only once, but multiple dates that are now being confirmed across the year for Lincolnshire Card Show, which is massive for the area, but for inviting us up to come and be twat at her card show and put it on YouTube for people to enjoy. And we hope that not only, Mel, did you enjoy the vlog, but you enjoy the podcast, and we would be honoured and privileged to come back whenever you want us, provided that all of us have working cars. Touchy subject. Sorry, Tone. I can feel the power of the gaze. Oh, my brain's just been fried. Sorry. It's all right. It's fine. Don't worry. Fire red. Fire red. It's okay. It's okay. Shh. But for me, it was a wonderful event. Lovely, lovely vendors. Really nice to finally once again meet a number of people that we have, communicated with and kind of like been a part of the community with on Instagram and putting faces to names. Lovely to finally meet Arto Toads, the absolute beautiful artist that is behind all of our title cards and our logos and everything. Nice to meet Glimmer of Stream, Natalie. She was very, very polite and came and found us while we were in the middle of our shout out to Phantom Cards gym challenge, where each of us got to play a member of their staff and win ourselves a gym badge. My gym badge is nearby. Has anyone got a gym? There you go. Ed's got one to hand. So, and so's Tone. I feel really bad. I haven't got mine, but it's on my hat, which is on the other side of the room, and I'm not getting up because all manner of chaos will happen if I try and push past all of the technology in front of me. But it was a great event, and I think it's in that same echelon of the Wolverhampton Card Show, where it's so much more about the community and the people and the vibe than it is about like this is card. This card is worth lots of money. Pay me money now. Put on Instagram. Show people how much money I make. Sell you card. Yay! None of that. Like obviously, everybody has high-end singles. Like I understand that that's a part of it. You know, there is One Piece, there is Pokemon, there is Yu-Gi-Oh, there is Dragon Ball, there is Gundam, which I'm saying that Jarl of the Cards showed me, and there's some phenomenal artworks and that kind of thing. And if you've ever watched the anime, get into it now. Get into it now while it's cheap, before they ruin it like they did Pokemon and One Piece. But it was just a great event. It was just... Have you actually?
He's a fiend! Ed
just loves cardboard. I'm sure at this point, if IKEA came out with a booster box, he'd buy it.
Pre-orders live.
Have you watched Gundam?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've seen bits of it as a kid, but it's something that I've now added to my Crunchyroll watch list to start watching soon.
I'm
about to play Fire Red, so I'm busy for like 2 weeks. But after
buying
that,
the Gundam or buying the SpongeBob has still got me.
Yeah, I buy quite a bit of shit, if I'm honest. It's just I am at that age now where I'm like, I could die tomorrow. So I'm like, yeah, just,
I make life choices.
Yeah, buy things that make you happy. You can't take your money with you when you die, so have a bloody lovely time whilst you're here. Buy the shiny cardboard and have a great time whilst you do it. Unless you're opening.
That was such a wonderful sentiment. That was really nice. That was actually really quite wholesome. But
I responded so depressively, and it was so wonderful.
Yeah, if you want to know the true ins and outs of the Lincolnshire Card Show, please do pause.
Watch.
Go and watch it. Go and watch it. I'll link it at the end of this podcast because it's really fun. But just really quickly, just to cap it out, boys, 3 words describe the show.
Insane, underrated, unbelievable.
Phenomenal. Community. Art of Toads.
That was 6 words, but I admire what you've gone for.
Art of Toads is all one word.
Okay, so we'll do a little bit more news before we finally go into the degeneration station of the little card of ours, where everybody gets to view their favourite triple threat, where we go head to head to head and bring our cards from our catalogue to go against each other in the TNA style 6-sided ring of death and destruction. Really quick to wrap these up because we realise we've probably kept you guys here for a little bit longer this week, and we love and appreciate you for being here. Have you used our discount code at Imperium Grading? It's here. Go do that now. Very nice. Thank you. I'm very good at plugging. Logan Paul sold the Pikachu Illustrator PSA 10 for 16-ish million. Twat. Ace Grading have announced that they will be opening their very own European grading facility. I am an Ace affiliate and a big fan of the brand, and I think that this is awesome for them, and I wish them all the best going forward to it. I think this does come conveniently close to PSA announcing that they have a London office, and I think that we are going to see the sort of 2001 WCW versus WWE Invasion angle of grading, but exciting to see where it goes, and I do wish Randy and the team all the very best going forward. Imperium grading, just there. It's just there. Go and do stuff. Go and do stuff for them because they're lovely people. Chaos Rising. I'm just going to call it the Greninja set. Has been announced for release later this year in TCG terms. Ninja Spinner is already kind of hitting the shelves in Japan. I haven't seen much of it, but it could be a very interesting set. Perfect Order, I think, is going to break the TCG world, especially for me running a fighting type deck. Big up Tyrantrum, big up Barbaracle. However, by the looks of it, this is another big set that is going to shake up the TCG gameplay world. And it will have a Greninja in it, so everyone will probably go absolutely mental for no reason whatsoever. It's just upside down. He's upside down. I could do that. Watch. There you go. I did it so fast you barely caught it. Before I finally wrap up everything and we go into little card of ours, this man to my left or right, I don't know where he'll be on the screen when I come to edit this, so just assume that I'm pointing at Ed right now. If you haven't already been to Eddie Bear Collects on YouTube or Instagram, please go there now. Pause. Go. There. Now. Follow. Subscribe. Ed does a lot behind the scenes for all of us. Not just the podcast, but for us personally. Because we're special. Because I can't say the R word anymore. Because cancelled. But Ed's a very nice guy, and we want to see Ed do more for himself on the YouTube side of things. So if you want to see TCG live videos, if you want to see bio POVs, if you want to see him entirely live stream playing Pokopia, because I think that could be the chaotic kind of hell that I'm going to really enjoy in live, please go there and be nice to him, or I'll burn everything you have. Good, that was a lovely plug. Should we play a little card of ours?
No.
And we're back with Little Card of Ours, everybody's favourite triple threat where we go head to head to head as we dip into our back catalogue of cardboard and bring it in for destruction and depravity. Now, we always play Little Card of Ours when we go to a card show live, and this time I put a twist on our £10 purchase. It had to be a playable card or a rarity upgrade for a card in a deck you already run. Now, Lucas can't be with us in the studio because I won't let him in. So, we will just talk about his card at a later date. We will talk about his card on his behalf because, you know, I'm in charge here and what I say goes. So, at Lincolnshire, we all went off and did our own little thing and we went and found cards of our own. Now, I think, personally, that the wrong card won. But we'll find out who won right now. In fourth place, because Lucas got involved this time, with 12% of the vote. It was Lucas and his gold Teal Mask Ogapon. Flash up picture.
Teal Mask Ogapon.
Teal Mask Ogapon.
If you go watch the Lincolnshire video, you'll get the joke. In third place, which I think is this card should have won, personally. Just based on artwork, with 15% of the vote. It was Tone and his Spidops, which I think is possibly one of the most underrated artworks in the Destined Rivals set. A phenomenal card.
Agreed.
In second place, by a whisker and a breath, with 35% of the vote, it was Ed and his Joltik. Which means, finally, for the first time at a card show, with 38% of the vote, your winner, and modestly so, is Mush and his Riolu ETB promo, which I have really enjoyed laying on the table and being like, wait till I evolve it. So that was a lot of fun. Now, we go from being very top of the table to
very quickly.
Oh.
This is my well done Slytherin. However, no. Well done, Mush. I think Riolu is a stunning card. And I think we discussed it on and off camera where we said this was one of the hardest ones. We think that all the cards we put forward, including the Teal Mask, were bangers. I think, not to hype up the Spider-Ups too much myself, you've done it already. We were actually surprised about how little of the amount of vote that he got. So this is a reminder to you all. You're voting the card, not the Pokemon itself. Because yes, Spider-Ups is not a big card out there. No. Riolu is a fan favourite. Joltik is an adorable boy. Yes. But vote the bloody artwork, you cheeky gits. 15%.
And not the person, Jody. Not the person, Jodes. Right? If Ed puts something up, you don't have to vote for Ed, Jodes.
No, we won't vote for Jodes.
Just me and you.
Jodes, every other vote, yeah, I'm mad at you. But this one, mainly because she's the one that sold me the card, she actually voted for Spider-Ups this time.
She only voted for it because she sold it to you.
Yeah, and that's it. In the comments, she even went, "Oh, but Joltik's my fave." I'm also
a part of this. So, on our previous podcast episode, Ed was currently holding firm with his Ancient Mew. I had dived in from the skies with my E-Series Fearow. And Tone had broken free of his chains and terrestrialized into the shiny Paldean Fates Charizard. Now, we'll keep the cards here while I reel off the scores. Because in last place, with 10% of the vote, was Mush's Fearow, which is really disappointing, people. I know there's a lot of Pidgeot fans out there, but this is a good bird. Now, I know that me and Ed were close, but in this one, it couldn't be closer between first and second place. Because in second place, with 44% of the vote, was Ed's Ancient Mew, which means this week's winner with 46% of the vote was Tone and the Paldean Fates Charizard. Congratulations, Tone. Welcome back to top spot. It's a meteoric rise for you and your Terrazard. Now, as is customary with all little card of ours, and I know that I'm about to put a card up that's going to get absolutely destroyed because Ed was feeling very confident in the pre-podcast conversation we had. It means that myself and Eddie Bear must bring a brand new combatant to the Colosseum to try and break through Tone's Gale of Darkness. Yes, I am bloody good at this podcasting thing. And I am holding firm. I refuse to bring SIRs at the moment, and I will keep bringing Hollows until people give it the respect it deserves. Make Hollows great again. I'll make that hat one day, and it won't be Trump-esque, but it will be a good hat. So, for me, I was flicking through my binder because recently I've picked up a few more cards for a few more Pokemon collections that I'm doing, and I was reminded of a card that I have in my binder from a set that I mentioned earlier in the show. So if you were paying attention, well done you. So I am bringing to the episode and to this dangerous triple threat that we all seem to dive ourselves into every fortnight, I am bringing the Crobat Hollow from Delta Species, which is one of my favourites because the Crobat itself is holographic. Look at that colour change, very funky. A cool piece of artwork from a Pokemon that I think goes underappreciated and unloved in a society where realistically this thing hits harder than Sir Alex Ferguson's extra time charges. That was a football thing, if you didn't know. So I'm bringing Crobat Delta Species, which I know is going to come last because nobody's going to give up that Paldean Fate Zard, and whatever Ed's got is probably going to punch harder than Tyson on roids. So, Ed, please.
I hear Paldean Fates, and I know what's coming. I swear to God, Edward, I swear.
I did ask if it's the Bubble Mew, and he said no. He said it's not the Bubble Mew. He might have lied, but he said it's not.
It's not. And when you see the back, you'll know it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, do not adjust your set. We have Japanese, but it is modern back, which I believe is a absolute rarity for me in this challenge. Now, when I saw the results of this week, it boiled my piss. I won't lie. The Ancient Mew is beyond timeless. So I thought, okay, let's go to one of the most beloved sets of the modern era. And I am bringing, from V-Star Universe, the Gold Giratina V-Star. In English, it is from Crown Zenith. This is the most majestic, decadent, underworld, hell-inducing, hell-raising, eyebrow-raising, son of a gun card that you will ever see. And Tone's reaction was worth it.
So I'm going to change mine to Budu because Itchy Pollen and item lock both of you out of being able to vote. Yeah, cool. So last week I felt like it was the epitome of I'm also here, and this week I might not actually turn up because that is where do you go when you're stuck between a flaming fire lizard dragon wannabe and quite literally the god of death? It's been fun. So, if you would like to vote for your favourite, please go over to the Pokepals _podcast on Instagram and you can vote for either Giratina V-Star or Paldean Fates Charizard SIR. Don't bother wasting a vote for me because realistically, these two are the real fighters.
No. Do you know what?
Or just everyone vote for me and fuck both of them.
Listen, yeah? Vote for the Zard if you want. I would prefer you to vote for the Zard, obviously. However, if you have any shred of decency in your bones, you'll vote for the Crobat. Because we said at the start of this podcast we wanted to start off nice and smooth, art rares here and there. Edward is going for the big guns. He knows what he's doing. Yeah? And I love, and I've got to say, as much as I want to be a shithouse, I love what Mush said, where he was like, I want to try and make Hollows great again. And Edward knows what he's doing. He's trying to price us out of this competition. And
next week I'm just going to bring a fucking hero's cape.
I will not have it. Yeah.
Hang on, right.
Also,
hang on.
It's just a shitty gold card.
You're just there.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to open the bifold doors and head our way into the Hall of Fame. It is time for the most illustrious Hall of Fame you can find anywhere on the interwebs. Last episode, it feels like last week because there's been so much going on. But both of these two broke me. And the vote was unanimous. My top loader's going in the... No, I'm joking. Very kindly, both of my co-hosts were very, very sentimental and very, very kind and said some lovely, lovely things that make me wish that my dad could see me now. It was a really wholesome moment and something that, you know, I know it's just a made-up Hall of Fame on a podcast that mostly is watched by three of our close friends and my wife when she's asleep, but it was still a really nice moment and I'm still very grateful for it. So this week, I'm inducting myself into the Hall of Fame, it feels like. Go me.
Can we also point out that this is the first week where Mush has, even though he's won, he's lost.
Yeah, this is the first Hall of Fame where what I've selected isn't going into the Hall of Fame. So, shout out me? I don't know anymore. I am confusion.
Thanks, mate.
But it means that we must now find something else out there in the worldwide areas and places and webs and regions and all of the other things that we talk about to induct into our illustrious Hall of Fame. So, Tone, then me, then Ed, down the line. Who is your inductee nomination, Tone?
So, going to try and be a serious one with this one. I've recently gotten into the TCG and I am learning how to play and I'm learning what cards are good, what cards are bad, what can flip the game on its head. And I am going to put something in the Hall of Fame, which I believe near enough every deck uses, except Team Rocket's Mewtwo, as it has a different variation. But I am going to put a card in that can literally flip it on its head, win you the game, is a card that you both have lauded to me and complained about multiple times. Mush has done many videos about this. I will pull up the card I'm doing. It's not this card specifically. It's just a very beautiful card, so I'm pulling it up on the screen. I am putting Boss's Orders into Hall of Fame.
But by using Boss's Orders, you've taken it out of the Hall of Fame and switched in something else. So therefore, what I'm putting in is going
out your nominations.
Ah, genius. I like it. It's a great choice. I cannot deny how many times I have either fucked or been fucked by that card. There is no juxtaposition when it comes to Boss's Orders. You either are the train or you are the tunnel. Either way, somebody is getting slammed.
For those, because I used to be one of them, for those that do not know the TCG and you're like, what the fuck does Boss's Orders do? Boss's Orders switches your opponent's active Pokemon with one of their benched, so you could potentially bring in a much weaker Pokemon and knock it out for a prize. You can bring in one of their Pokemon that they're building up for a big attack, knock it out before they can do it. You can bring in one of their big beastie boys that is built up and ready to attack you and knock it out before it does, and completely flip their plans and what they've got going on, and hopefully give you a win.
It's a bastard. I think that should just be what's written on the card. Just Boss's Orders, item description. It's a bastard. I too will try and be semi-serious. I'm putting in Tone's parents. No, I'm joking. I'm only messing around there for next week. No, I am going to put in a person, though. I think we can all agree that we're very lucky to hold the friendships that we have in life, and I think that what we cultivate and what we surround ourselves with can be beautiful, and it can be chaotic. It can be delirious with fever sometimes. I don't know. He's a very unique and complicated character, but I wouldn't have him any other way. He has been from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows and everywhere in between. And when I got back into Pokemon Collection, he was 100% behind me and would always push me and say, you should do this, be confident in what you're doing. The community in the hub that I left behind because I don't skate anymore, still to this day makes me sad because I still have a passion and a love for it. But meeting you guys and everybody else that I've met in this community so far has warmed my soul to the idea that I can live beyond those moments, and that my life didn't stop when I stopped doing that, and it actually started again when I started doing this. And it's that reason that he won't know this until he watches the fucking episode, which is an even more beautiful moment, because this week for Hall of Fame...
fuck my card off then.
Yeah, you get rid of that shit. I've just bossed it out. Bitch. For that reason, and for all of the wonderful things that he does for us when he comes with us to card shows, and for the fact that his terror box makes me terrified and puts me in a box, I am nominating our very own Lucifer, our Morning Star, our Mind Over Mewtwo, our friend Lucas, because he is an absolute gem. And he deserves it. And his car broke down today, and he's probably really fucking sad. So I hope that when you see this, Lucas, A, and B, love you lots. I hope you enjoy it. If you don't win, I'll nominate you again the week after. That's my nomination. After being done in last time we did Hall of Fame and getting sentimental and breaking down and crying, it's only fair that you, and I'm looking directly down the camera now, you get that now. Love you, buddy. Ed.
Well, there's no fucking point here. No, only joking. Lucas, mate, eat shit. So, what I am bringing into the Hall of... No, I'm joking.
I'm not a pervert.
I am bringing in something that, similar to Lucas, I feel like I couldn't possibly be without. I feel like this is part of what's made me who I am, what gives me the ability to carry on doing the things that I do, carry on sort of keeping up that motivation to put myself out there, to get myself online, to really, really try and make something better of what it is that I do in my spare time. So that is my Bambi tweezers that I use to help me remove ingrown hairs and things.
We can't keep throwing the vote, boys.
Of course we... Yeah, you voted for Lucas and Tone voted for Boss's orders, so you both threw the vote with my Bambi's...
I thought if I go first, we'll get it back to a level place. Now, I'm not disagreeing with Mush's idea. I think Lucas is well deserving. I'm not going to lie.
I really wish you'd put the Turbo Man doll in. Because it would have just been funny.
I've been laughing since Ed started speaking because I'll be honest, I was expecting I'm going to put Updog in there. I was half expecting that to fucking come out.
To be fair, if it wasn't Updog, it was definitely going to be Nunya. Do you know what I mean?
Or a bit of Wrong Bub.
You nearly got me. You nearly got me then. My brain was like, what's wrong, Bab?
Nothing, mate. I'm having a great time. How are you?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But imagine if his car breaks down and then, like, the very same week he loses to Turbo Man. Like, that'd be a swift.
What would actually be even funnier is that actually he loses to tweezers.
Bambi tweezers.
Bambi tweezers. I am sorry. Where are the mummy tweezers?
I shot them.
Oh.
So if you want to vote for
the
serious Hall of Fame, Boss's orders in the TCG, you can vote for me. You can vote for Bambi Tweezers and vote for Ed. Or you can go and vote our cameraman, Mush's personal driver, an absolute legend, a lovely member of this community, and a big, big, big friend of ours, Mind Over Mewtwo, Lucas Lucifer.
Ow.
Ow. Ow.
Till Mask
From famous quotes such as Till Mask Ogabun.
Hi, I'm Lucas. You may remember me from such quotes as ow or Till Mask Ogabun.
Ow.
Oh, this is going to take me so long to try and edit the Troy McClure thing that I might not even do it. If you don't see that and you wish you'd seen it, let me know down in the comments, but it's probably not going to fucking happen, I'm sorry. There's only so much I can take, and this has been a 3-hour podcast, nearly. Woof. But that's it. As Tone said so eloquently, if you do want to vote for Cyrus and his boss's orders, whether it's Cyrus, Getsis, Giovanni, or any other of the big bads in between, if you would like to vote for Mind Over Mewtwo, a.k.a. Lucifer, a.k.a. Lucas, a.k.a. Owl, a.k.a. Tilmask, or would you like to vote for the baby deer that pulls out baby hairs? There's something for everybody in the Hall of Fame. That pretty much brings us into April. No, I'm joking. That was a joke from earlier in the show. It pretty much sums it all up and brings us to the end of the Pokepals podcast, episode 19, which means our next episode is another landmark on our way to blasting off again with Team Rocket as we head to episode 20, which still seems absolutely surreal that 3 people on the internet can make something last for 20 episodes, not including card shows, because they're just for fun. If you would like to go over to Imperium Grading, you may use the code that I have once again bunged at the bottom of the screen because I am phenomenally good at plugging things. Ask Ed. We weren't up till 3 in the morning saying, "Where's Ed?" That's all I'm going to say. From myself, from Tone, from Ed, from everyone here at the Pokepals Podcast, we have been 3 Muppets on the internet. You have been people that love Pokemon. And until next time, stay safe. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Lucas is dreadful at plucking eyebrows.